Ya Munafik, Ya Munafik, you're on attack, attack of the Titans, attack on the Titans. You big fat boom. I already know, man. The chills ain't gonna keep us back at all. Yo, you know I control the trolls, right? Don't let me troll you, baby. Don't let me troll you. Because you ain't gonna like it, you flipping monafik. Alright, so family tree, if you want to get the link, right? Message me on Hangouts privately. All right. So most of you guys, all you got to do, whoa, I got so many people that's been trying to message me still over the long time. All right, so what you guys got to do is simply yeah, message me and I'm going to send you the link. Shout out to Mahed who's messaged me. Link has been sent to you. Lil Bait, um the link has been sent to you. Anybody else? Yeah, come on, let's get it in, family. Let's get it in. I know there's a whole lot of you guys who've been trying to get in contact with me. Let me quickly see. How do I go to see the archived ones? All right. So the archived ones. So we've got like people like Scattered Minds. Okay, no, this. All right, family. So if you guys would like to get in contact with me, simply go and add me. Shouts out to my Queen Rose, all the way from New York, baby. New York, New York. Let me get my Muslimina queen involved. Who else? We've got Alvin trying to get in as well. Yep, we've got the new link for you as well. So again, family, if you guys are tuned in right now and you want the link has been sent over to you guys. Just keep messaging me and I will get all of you guys onto the show, right? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Um, yeah, did you get my message? I believe so, maybe. Um, I don't know if I got your message. I'll double check. Witness, just add me on Google Hangouts, okay? Add me on Google Hangouts. And Blame Film. All right, we're gonna get everybody back into the building, right? What you gotta do is simply message me via Google Hangouts so I know it's real. All right, let me know it's real, baby. Let me know it's real. All right. Whilst we're waiting for everybody to fully come in, I'm gonna let the panel members jump in real quickly. Yeah, panel members jump in, speak, and let me get everybody involved again.
What up, brother Kalam? How you doing, man?
Oh man, it was good, baby boy. It was good, man. I love it when you were coming on to here, man. What are you saying to me?
Oh yeah, man. Oh man, I'm just hopping on here, seeing what y'all talking about. See
All
what the topic of the other day is.
right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna soon see what we can get flowing right now. Actually, not right now. Earlier on, it was, you know, is God all knowing, basically? Okay.
Mm.
So I believe there is two ways of looking at God's all knowingness. Okay.
Hmm.
You can either have knowledge of things predetermined. So he's already written your life story already. And there ain't no change in your life story. That's one way of looking at it. But then there's a second way of looking at it that God gives you guys free will to make your own decision. It's not predetermined, but he knows every single move you have made once you have made it. He even knows the deep inner workings of your brain to know the decisions that you're most likely going to make, but he does not know them until you have actually made those decisions. So, which one is it?
I lean towards more the latter, right? So okay, so let's say a million years ago, it was destined that I would make a left turn on this street, right? Uh, but at that moment of the left turn, there was a chemical process in my head looking at both options, right? So I'm there. I see a right turn. I see a left turn. Which way do I think this area is at where I'm trying to go? I'll stop at the stoplight and think about it, and then after evaluating stuff, then I'll make a decision to make a left turn. So I mean, I chose to make that left turn right at that immediate state, but I guess it depends on does that count if I was determined to make that left turn anyway. So I would lean more towards the second part you said, Kalam.
All right, all right. I'm gonna just kind of survey the audience, see what everybody's saying. Ahlul Bait, what are you saying to me? Ahlul Bait, let me know if you're in the building. If yeah, go ahead.
I'm here.
So, do you know which one it is?
Sorry, what was the question?
So, God is all knowing, right? According to, let's open it up to the three faiths now. God is
Yeah.
all knowing, according to Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, supposedly, unless somebody wants to tell me something different. But has God already determined everything that's going to happen, from everything past to everything in the future? Has He predestined everything? So there's nothing that you can do that
Yeah.
He hasn't already got knowledge of, or is it that He only has knowledge of the decisions that you actually make and the things that's going on right now in your brain cells?
I'd say that, so between predeterminism and free will, right? I'd say that I reject both absolute determinism, and I think I also reject absolute free will.
Hmm. So what do you say? Could
I'd,
it possibly
I'd say it's a matter in between.
Mhm. I'm trying to figure out what would be that matter in between.
I think I'll explain that as the show goes on. I'll take some points from both sides that
And
argue for determinism and that argue for free will, and I'll see if I can combine them and explain how neither determinism is the case and neither absolute free will is the case.
inshallah for that one. All right, let me get my
I've seen one way to. Now this is kind of.
Alvin.
Oh, my
Alvin, I
bad,
gotta
my bad,
stop you. I gotta stop
my
you,
bad,
Alvin. I gotta stop you, Alvin. I gotta make sure everybody answers this
my bad,
question.
my bad. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
We can get you in, right? So that's gonna be the same question to my brother Raz. And please
I
don't make
just
me.
I, I just joined, brother. I'm just listening
All
to.
right, let me hold on
Yeah.
to you then. So let me get my queen Rose in then. Rose.
Hi, Kalam.
Hi, how you doing?
So on,
So
on that, I would say that we do have freedom to choice, but we don't have free will because we can't do anything that we really want to do. But we have in life a lot of choices to make. And the choices we make are what's free for us. Like we'll have options. And we
But-
have the free will to choose of those choices. But nothing is actually really just given to us.
But I want to know, did God already choose your choices for you? Right? Does God know everything? So does God already know which choices you're going to make? Or does He only know them at the point of decision?
Well, we're being put through this scenario, but God already knows what we're going to choose or what
Right.
choices we're going to make. So He's all knowing in that way, yeah.
All right. Let me get my brother Musa Muhammad involved as well.
Yeah, so hi, Kalam. Yeah, the Islamic perspective is that this is a Sunni perspective, of course. That in a authentic hadith, it has been narrated that the destinies have been written for the entire creation, 50,000 years before the creation actually happened, and it was ordered to the pen to write it to the tablet, and it was actually in God's knowledge, and He executed, or he kind of transcribed that knowledge onto a tablet. Now that's another interesting topic as to why he chose to do that. But anyways, it was with God's knowledge. The entire destiny and all the things that you're talking about in between, the choices, the operations, the chemical processes, the wrong and the right, the avenues of choice, everything has been predestined, and it's according to the nature of that creation, of course. And yes, so everything has been destined, and the person or the creation will just follow the path. And there is free will, of course, because the creation is not under this is not totalitarianism. Like, it's God is not forcing you to do this. You have the right to exercise your choice in order to reach that conclusion or that destiny. So you're not. This is not. You're not being puppeteered, or you're not being forced to get to that point. You have, and that's why that free will is basically intrinsically linked to your nature. That the evil person will make the evil choices, and the good person will make good choices.
Yeah.
But yes, it has been operated.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, my brother. All right.
Yeah.
Mahed, do you second that?
Yep. Pretty much. Also, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I knew you would. I knew you would. Come on, man.
Let there be light, brother. Let there be light.
Light. All right. Let me get the big man now. Let's get Sarah. What you saying, G? Long time. Man, like
Peace,
God.
family. Peace, family. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. I've gone into this before. Basically, what's interesting is that people are trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It is clear from all the answers that have been given that people cannot come to the conclusion whether or not God is or is not all-knowing and knows the future, past and present. When, for me, listening to all of the responses clearly shows that the God that people speak about is one of two things. Is either incomprehensible, is what people say. They say you can never ever comprehend God, or the reason why it's so confusing is God is merely a creation of the human mind, and so they've tried to make something, okay, so powerful, yet they've left some loopholes in it that they can't understand themselves. And so for me, I will go with the latter, because God's not been able to be proven. So human beings attempt to explain how free will and all-knowing can fit within the same paradigm, and it can't. Human beings having free will and God being quote-unquote all-knowing cannot fit within the same paradigm. It's either God's all-knowing, predetermined everything, or we have free will and God doesn't know our free will. And I would say the latter is, the third option is, for me, is that human beings created God in their image because we ourselves are confused, hence the reason why God sounds so confusing.
But what's wrong with having free will and God knowing?
Hold on, my brother. Apologies, but I have to cut you. I need to make sure everybody answers this question. Oh man, it's gonna get heat. I already know. All right. We've got Ultra Funky and we've got Rich Kid. Let me see if I can spice it up by going to Rich Kid first, and then I get Ultra Funky to just done the dance. And I'll open up for a nice group discussion where everybody can kind of come in. All right. Rich Kid, talk to me, King.
Are we talking about the Abrahamic God, or are we talking about Allah?
So really and truly, we're talking about the Abrahamic God, I guess.
Okay, but what Muhammad was talking about was the Abrahamic God. He was talking about Allah, right?
Yeah, well, so there's going to be okay. Let me be precise. We're talking about, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity.
The God of Abraham is the God of Muhammad, my friend. Okay.
We'll find that out soon.
100. 100.
All right. And let me just remind everybody the rules on Titans TV. 3 rules, 3 simple rules is number 1, keep your mics muted at all times. Rule number 2, respect each other's cipher. When I talk, you don't. When I talk, you don't. When your friends talk, you don't. Right? We go back and forth like that. Just respect the cipher and respect everybody's opinion as well. Third rule is this. Actually, no, don't respect their opinion. Respect them. Don't ever respect people's opinions. Let me just scratch that out. Never respect people's opinions. Never. But you can respect them as a human being. All right,
I respect your opinion, Kalam.
Sorry?
I respect your opinion, Kalam.
Oh, man. No, if my opinion is dodgy, baby. If my opinion is dodgy. Third rule is this, right? No profanities and no ad hominems. We don't want the show to spiral down out of control. We like it being nice and natural, organic, where everybody can just come in and it's a nice environment. So let's see if we can do that right now. So let me go over to Rich Kid.
Yeah, sorry. So Obviously, the God of the Bible didn't know what he was doing. As Seltzer said in the 1st century, 2nd century, he made his creation, and his creation started to rule him. He didn't know what he was doing. I don't class the God of Abraham as a God, even though people might do. But you have to ask the question: why was he asking for Adam? Why didn't he know that there was a garden there was a snake in the garden? Why did he curse a snake and tell a snake to go on its belly? Why did he tell Eve that there would be enmity between her seed and the devil's seed? If I ask you to point that out today, you're not going to be able to do that. Everything you're talking about is fallacious, spurious, and absurd.
That's right.
Uh-oh, this is what I love, right? It's going to get heated. I can't wait because we've got a lovely panel of diverse individuals. And I know we've got theists on the channel. We've got Christians, Hebrew Israelites, Muslims on the panel as well. We've also got atheists and others on the panel. So I already know it's going to be a powerful show, right? And we're still answering my brother Preston's question, his first one, before we go into his second question. All right, Ultra Funky. Funky.
Yo, Kalam, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, my brother. I was in the barbers. I couldn't really hear what was going on. I just popped in. I heard, is it Richard, Ricky, Rich Kid?
Rich Kid.
Yeah, just heard him talking, and he was saying stuff I like. I had to jump in. What exactly is the topic?
So the question is, right, and this is relating to the God of Adam, or should I say, God of Moses, God of Jesus, God of Muhammad, right? Is that God all-knowing in the sense that he has already predetermined everything that's going to happen from past, present, and future, or is he a God that knows everything is happening at the moment it happens?
Yeah. All right. If I'm honest, in my subjective opinion, from what I've been told by the people of said faiths, is God knows everything in advance, period, right? That's it. So he already knows what decisions, according to them, not according to me, according to them, that their God already knows what we're going to do. He's just waiting for us to make said choices so we can either go to see him in heaven or go to the place with a much warmer climate. Now, I don't believe any of that stuff. It's just fanciful nonsense to control people, and I feel like cut it out. Just cut it out. I'll tell you what you do. Just try being a wonderfully nice person, just for the sake of it, not for eternal cosmic reward, just because it's a nice thing to do. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, we can get on. We could go for a drink. Non-alcoholic cocktails exist. We can just chill out and we can all be friends, rather than, oh no, this is my God and he's better than yours. And yes, we believe in the same God, but you're doing it wrong. It's all divisive. Just chill out. Chill out. And you know it makes sense.
Oh man. All right. So I love it. Yeah, I love this panel already. Okay. So before we jump in, right, there is a second part. There's actually a second part to my good brother's question, right? Preston, could you just reiterate the second part of the question before we truly get involved with the discussion?
Sure, thank you. The second part of the question is, if you do believe that God has the power to see into the future, you then have to answer the question, then why did he create Adam if he knew Adam was going to disobey him? Why did he create the angels if he knew that one of them, Lucifer, was going to start a civil war? Why did he do it knowing that they would disobey him?
Okay, thank you. So you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to go to the most knowledgeable person on the panel. And I'm going to go to Rose. Rose, go ahead, Rose.
Wow, thank you. The question, right, is it if God is all-knowing and he created Adam and Eve with a snake? I don't know. I don't quite understand the question, but I'm going to try to answer anyway. So, in our tradition, God creates Adam in His own image, and in the garden, Adam shows God that he's ready to go to earth, to rule the earth. You know, and do you mind coming back to me actually?
All right, no problem. Let me go over to Musa Muhammad.
Okay.
Brother Musa. If not, I'm going to jump to Mahed.
Yeah, sorry, what's the question?
So basically, God is all knowing, right?
Yeah.
And since he's all knowing, he knew that Adam was going to sin and all the other catastrophes is going to happen. But why
Right.
did he proceed in the first place? Like, why?
Why did he proceed in the first? Well, I would know. That's in God's knowledge, right?
Is that the answer?
That's a mystery. Yeah, that's pretty much a mystery. Why God does things? That's a mystery to us.
How do you say Allah knows best?
Allah knows best. Yeah, that's what we say.
Why do you say in Arabic?
Allahu A'lam.
No. That's only Allah knows. What's Allah knows best?
No, Allahu A'lam. A'lam means knows best. Like A'lam, like extra alif on there. That means knows best. You can translate that as knows best.
All right. I like that. All right. Allahu A'lam then. Let's go over now to Alvin, because I already know Alvin. He's a Hebrew Israelite Christian, so he already knows the answer to this one. This one's a walk in the park for him. Let's get it.
Okay. If you ever want to see an atheist in the Bible asking all the same questions, just read the book of Job. Job asked God every single question that an atheist asks him. Like, hey, why do you bless me and then take stuff away? Why do you bless the wicked and curse the righteous and all these kind of things, right? So, I mean, even the people back then were confused. But to answer the question, let's look at what happened with Moses in the wilderness, okay? God said, look, I want you to show all these things to Pharaoh, okay? But you know what? None of it is going to work. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it not work. So from our perspective, we're like, well, why would you tell him to go over there and do these things and then tell him it? Like, from our perspective, it seems like, why would you do that? But evidently he is in control of everything, because he literally told Moses, I'm going to tell you to do all these things, but they're not going to work. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make them not work. And then when you go to the Adam and Eve story, he told Adam that you're going to eat the fruit. He said the day you'll eat the fruit is the day you'll die. It's like it was predetermined. That's why he put it in there. You know, so it now it does seem strange to tell people to do things that you already know aren't going to work. But evidently he already knows what's going to work and what's not going to work. But for some reason he allows people to go through it anyway. You know. But you know, that's all I gotta say with that stuff.
I hear that. I hear
Sorry,
that.
just to add to what I was saying. Yeah, in the Quran.
Before you do that, you know, that just sounds like one of the things you say to the missus, right? Like, all right, don't listen to me. Go and do it, and you're doing it, yeah. Just so you can be what's the word? What's the word when you want to be malicious? Yeah, you want to be malicious. You already know it's not going to work, right? But you're going to let them just do it. Go and waste your time for a little bit. Just do it. Just do it. And that's because you're a really rotten person inside your heart. Sorry, my bad. Whoopsies. All right, go ahead, Mahed.
Yeah. So when in our tradition, when it's in the Quran, it says when God decided to create Adam, the angels questioned. They had a question to why God was creating Adam, because there's already corruption on Earth by other creatures and species. So they said, why would you put on Earth another creature that his progeny will cause the same corruption? And then God just said, I know that which you do not know. So that's pretty much it. Like, we don't have a clear-cut answer to why God did this, why God created human beings, but it's in his knowledge, right?
Kalam, can I jump in?
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Okay, so
that's one of my favorite lines, though. You know, I know that which you know not. No, so that's one of my favorite lines. I know that which you know not. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go into the biblical account, we will see that in the biblical account, it actually states that God regretted making mankind, right? So when you regret something, that shows that you didn't know the outcome. So, you know, if I went round the corner and somebody, I don't know, slapped me in my face, I could say, I'll regret going around that corner. Why did I regret it? Because I didn't know what the outcome was of me going around that corner. The biblical account clearly states that God regretted making mankind. So it clearly shows here that God isn't all-knowing, and it says it within the actual Bible. When you go to the Quranic account has Allah and Shaitan, Iblis, whatever you want to call him, having a conversation. And Allah and Shaitan have a conversation. And Iblis actually says to Allah that I am going to remove or take all of quote unquote Adam's siblings or the people of Adam away from you. And God actually allows, he says, okay, cool, go ahead. He allows Iblis to do this. So what we have here in the Quranic account is God saying to Shaitan or giving Iblis the leeway to go and do what he actually wants to go and do. So I would just question the character of this God, because I always go back to the character and I say, what characters do we know in our knowing that play games like that? I know.
Sorry, Sarah, can I just add? Can I just add to that?
Yeah, go on.
The point you're making, I kind of feel like you're saying that the both gods, the Christian God and the Islamic God, changed his mind or her mind. That's what it kind of.
Okay, well, it sounds like
it feels
that.
like, yeah, but but I've been told that God doesn't change.
Well, this is the thing. So what it sounds like that, and the reason I always say it sounds like that is because these gods are a creation of human beings, and human beings made God in their image, which
that
is
makes
why
sense. Yeah,
human
that makes
beings,
sense.
You mentioned the Islamic God change. How did the Islamic God change his mind? I don't get that. Maybe I get with the biblical, but how did the Islamic God change his mind?
The Islamic God had a conversation with Iblis. You do know this, though, right?
Yeah. He gave Iblis, Shaitan, the leeway, and he allowed him, gave him respite.
So he allowed him. He allowed him.
Yes.
Now, imagine this now. So you're an all-powerful creator, and you are now going to allow your very enemy, your antithesis, okay?
First off, we don't have this God.
You're going to allow and give leeway to your enemy to take away the thing that you apparently most love. Now, I would ask you as a human being, would you allow your enemy, if your enemy came to you and said, I am going to take away your wife, your children, your family members, and everything that you love, would you allow them to do this?
First off, you're not getting the point. You're putting God as like God. We're His children. We're not Christians. Muslims believe we're God's.
No, but you're His creation. You're His creation.
His slaves. Right? His slaves. So He wanted to test His slaves.
Oh, you're His slaves.
Yes, His slaves. God's slaves.
So we can do anything.
We don't have this concept that. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
But didn't earlier?
Hang on a minute. Sorry. Let me just go in. Let me just jump in on that. What do you know in your realm of knowing? Who do you know that has slaves that they can do anything they want with? Humans, or a divine being?
A divine being, yes. We have this understanding that God does whatever He wants.
You missed the question.
Yeah, dictators and conquerors. Yeah.
No, but so you missed the question. Who do you know within your realm of knowing? You see, with what you know, with what you can put your stamp on, 100%. Do you know that human beings do this, or do you know that a divine being does this?
Human beings. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if God
but human beings are not always successful in doing this. They want to do this, but they're not successful.
But what the point I'm making is God is sounding like a human being now, right?
Not necessarily. It's human beings trying to be like God, I would say.
Okay.
And that's why God God on the Day of Judgment will say, where are the compellers and where are the dictators? Because He is the only one who has a right to be, who has a right to have pride, and who has a right to conquer, and who has a right to dictate. That's why everybody who tries to be like God God basically will punish, essentially.
Okay, so hold on a minute there, sir. Was earlier you said that there's only one God because the God of Abraham, Moses, and Isaac. When I asked you, you said there's only one God, and I said we'll get into that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Sarah was mentioning the Bible,
No, I just wanted to mention the biblical God is different from our, like, we don't.
Okay, so we're talking about two different gods then, but here
exactly,
we are.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is my point. But hold on, don't get triggered. Don't get triggered. So now when we're talking, the God of the Bible and the God of the Quran, they are two different gods. So by proxy, we have two gods in heaven. Is that correct?
No.
Make your mind up, my friend.
No, we believe in whatever we believe. We're Muslims, right? So we believe in our own tradition. But
can I say
the Bible,
something?
we believe it's corrupt. We believe the Bible portions of the Bible.
I think you need to ask yourself, like, what is the evidence of the biblical God being unsure about himself? What is evidence of that? Like, what evidence do you have that shows that him giving respite to the devil to misguide mankind is actually one of his signs of being unsure and on a weak side? Like,
I just want to, hey, Rich Kid, I just want to address this right quick. The God of the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims is the same deity. This is why they're called Abrahamic faiths. They all claim to worship the God of Abraham. Now, what it is each different group will say they're following the commandments of the God of Abraham's more correctly, or they'll say we have the most accurate version of the God of Abraham. But the reason they're called Abrahamic faiths is because they all worship that same deity. They just differ on.
Yeah, like for example, like the Bible says God rested on the seventh day because he felt fatigue or whatnot. We don't believe that as Muslims. God doesn't need rest, or he doesn't feel fatigued. Yeah.
I mean, where does it
or
say
he rested?
Yeah,
that's what I heard from Christians. That's what I heard from Christians.
I know, but I mean, I don't know where the term fatigue is put in there.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so you guys don't believe that God feels fatigue or needs rest?
I mean, it didn't say it. It didn't say he needed it. It just said, hey, I rested on the seventh day.
There's one fundamental thing that can clear this up between the Christians and the Muslims. Most of the Christians believe that their God, the Abrahamic God, did come down to earth in human form.
Indeed.
To be Abraham. The Muslims don't believe that.
That's the fundamental difference.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would contest that Abraham wouldn't believe such things would happen anyway. So.
Still the same deal. They still think.
But Abraham didn't worship three gods. That's what I'm saying. But that's another thing.
So is that in the Old Testament that God came down on earth in the human shape, or is that in the New Testament?
However,
it's in the book of Genesis.
It's in the Old Testament when he visited Abraham at the tent.
Okay.
Right?
However, if
hold on a minute, hold on. Did Abraham meet God at the tent? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I'm asking the Muslims. Did
Allah?
Yeah,
however,
hold on. Did Allah? Hold on. Don't get triggered.
Sorry.
I haven't asked the question yet. Be patient.
No, it's me.
Did Allah meet Abraham at the tent?
No. From our perspective, that was angels. That was Angel Gabriel and
Michael. That's from your perspective because we're talking about two different beings. Earlier, when Sarah said that God, it pained God in his heart that he made man. Do you know that in 800 BCE, Zeus said the same thing? Zeus said the same thing. It hurt man in his heart. That man was created, and what did Zeus do? He flooded the world. So when you're reading your literature that is fallacious and doesn't even make sense to the normal human, don't expect that I'm going to accept your story about some God, and then you're telling Allah wants us to do this. God doesn't want us to do nothing. We're created by free will, and when Adam was in the garden and he was apparently sinned, God said, now man has become one of us, knowing good and evil. God said that. Read your book.
Okay, so hold up, wait a minute. He said a whole handful there. So first off, where's this document from 800 BC of Zeus saying that. And if he did say that, you also have the Great
Go and read
Spirit.
the Ilad. Go and read the Ilad. The Ilad. You asked me for a source, I'll give it to you.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And if it's in there, you also have the Indians or the Native Americans saying the Great Spirit had to destroy man with a flood because he ain't like how they were treating animals. Okay, so this being a motif of, hey, the creator god or a demiurge destroying humans because he ain't like what he was doing, that's not specific to any particular culture. So this idea of taking stuff from somewhere or whatever over such a universal concept is not, founded. Now, secondly, in regards to the God of Islam, I'm asking them, did Jacob wrestle with a man? And according to Muslim, did that happen?
No, we don't believe that.
Okay, so y'all don't believe that. Okay, cool.
We don't believe God was beaten by a man in a wrestling match. We don't believe that.
Okay, I was just asking. Okay, it's not
So you do believe that God is friends with human beings, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, God loves certain human beings and takes them as friends. Yes.
Do you believe that God prays for Muhammad?
Sends blessings. That's an inaccurate translation of the Arabic word.
No, it's actually
It means
salah.
sends blessings.
Salah is
Salah,
actually to pray.
salah. Yusalli it can be used for sending blessings onto somebody.
Hang on.
So
Did
when
you say
Allah
it,
says,
hang on. Did you say it can be used or it is used?
yeah, that's the thing about.
Huh?
What's happened? Hello?
Oh,
Callum,
he
just happened.
I can finish answering that for Sarah. So Sarah, when we are praying, right? We ask Allah to send His blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah sends His blessings on the Prophet.
Okay, so when you send your blessings, who are you sending your blessings?
We don't send them. We pray, right?
Right.
Allah to send His blessings upon the Prophet.
Right.
In a way, Allah is accepting our prayer, and He also sends His blessings. You understand?
No, well, that's not the word used, though. That's my point. The word used is actually pray. That's the word used. The word used is pray. And if you go to the language,
but you're not reading the entire verse, man. This is Arabic language. The word is yusalli alayh. Yusalli ala means to pray upon, and yusalli lahu is to pray to.
Hang on. So Allah prays upon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, praying upon means, for example, if somebody goes to the church, asks the Father to pray upon him, so he blesses him, he prays upon him, or he prays onto him. It's like sending blessings onto him, praying upon him. Praying upon doesn't mean, is not the same thing as praying to.
Hang on.
And that's why the Arabic.
When you pray upon something and when you send blessings to something, is there an entity that you are using to do this?
Not necessarily. It really depends on the subject. That's
hang on,
right?
So God is not the entity used to send blessings.
No. That's what I'm saying. If the subject here in the Arabic word, if the word yusalli is used and the subject here is God or angels, if it's God, it means God is Himself sending the blessings. If it's me, if I usalli or you usalli or the angels usalli, they are basically invoking the blessings of God, because you cannot shower blessings upon something like you're not divine. So you have to.
I tell you what
barakah mean, brother. What does barakah mean?
Barakah means blessings, but again.
Okay, so why doesn't it say in the Quran He gave barakah on Muhammad?
Right. Okay.
Yes, that's an option.
It's
but
it's a more intimate word, man. It's a better word.
Yeah, you see here, what happens here is you guys get to sneak out the back door.
No, it's not sneaking out. No. I do not accept that. I'm not accept that. Sorry.
You get to sneak out the back door.
You have to look at the conjunction.
Language.
Man said sneak out. Nobody's sneaking nowhere.
Yeah, you do that, man. You do that.
No, it's not. No,
you're trying to sneak
you
out
do
the back
that
door,
about Arabic language.
You're not
we don't need to know your. We don't need to know your Arabic language to know God. So take that back over to Saudi Arabia. We don't need to know that. God is universal, my friend. It doesn't depend on language. You're talking stupidness.
Listen, you cannot take the text without looking at the entire statement. You cannot just take the word. The word is followed by the word yusalli ala. Ala means upon. Yusalli lahu means to.
Okay,
praying to somebody is different from praying upon somebody, man.
Okay, so this is
You can't just take a word out of the Quran
okay,
and say, you know, there's a meaning. You have to look at the entire statement, the entire statement.
Fantastic.
I tell you, I'm gonna be blessing you right now.
No, hold on.
Versus I'm gonna be.
Let me come in quickly, okay? So let's just work like let's work methodologically. Yeah, that's it. So we have 3 parts to the statement, yeah? We got the root word, salah, sali or salah. We got the prefix, or the prefix, which is you salah. Can you just give us it? And then you've got the prepositional pronoun, right? The preposition.
The conjunction.
Pronoun, I think. Is it preposition pronoun or just preposition, right? Preposition, Allah.
It's a preposition, sorry, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So could you just say it to us real quickly, slowly, just break it up to us?
Yes.
Say it.
Inna Allahu wa malaikatahu, Allah and his angels, yusalluna, which is the word we are debating about. Ala is 2. So sending blessings upon, like
upon.
Alam is upon. And if the word is used, if the preposition used was ala,
no. We don't need the ifs. We don't need the ifs. We just need what is actually there. Go ahead.
Yes, it's yusalluna ala, which means he sends blessings upon.
No. You said it right first time. Okay. So the word salah. What does the word salah mean?
Salah could have a
multiple meanings.
Stop the could talk. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Blessings,
it means prayer. It means prayer, blessings. It depends on the context.
Okay, so could you salah means blessings as well as prayer, right?
So even if he says prayer, it still makes sense.
From the human perspective, it means we're invoking God for blessings and we're asking God to accept our prayers.
So it's a supplication.
From the God perspective, he's sending down, it's coming down upon his slaves.
The word itself means supplication, to pray, to ask, right?
No, to supplicate means to do dua. Actually, the word is
dua means
right? Supplication is different. Yeah.
Okay.
Yusalli is to pray or to send blessings.
Okay. So
you guys sneaking out the back door.
You're saying salli
back door, front door, my friend.
I want to know exactly what does the word salah mean. Just give me the definition of the word salah. That's all.
Salah means prayer. Generally.
Prayer.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then look at the proposition though. Look at the proposition. You can't just look at the word itself. Yusalli ala, which means prayer upon. Now, God cannot pray upon the prophets, such as him going on the prophets. It's
exactly, yeah. It all depends on the preposition in the context, right? So if it says Allah, it means blessings. If it says lahu, it means prayer, like you're praying to them.
Hold on. Keep your mics muted. Let me get Rose in real quickly. Go ahead, Rose.
We also have this word called salat. You know, salat, when we say was salatu was salam, it's like blessings and the peace. Also in the Quran, when it says wa ala salatuhum yuhafidhun, this word salat is used in 2 ways, for blessings and for prayers. You know, so was salatu was salam, and the peace and blessings be upon. And then at the same time, Allah says walladhina ala salatuhum yuhafidhun.
Kalam,
We're understanding salat in 2 different ways, in the same way that we're understanding salah in 2 different ways. In one way, it's for blessings, and in the other, it's for qiyamah, which is like prayer.
Okay, thank you. Let's get Sarah in now.
Yeah, can I just say this? What I've noticed, and I've been studying Abraham religion for years now, maybe almost a decade, and I have contended from the get-go, once I realized the religions, that the religion of Islam is strictly for the Arabs. And the reason why I say this is because what happens is that every time we get a quote-unquote discrepancy within a language, as it's been translated into English, they say, oh, you've got to go back to the Arabic. You've got to go back to the Arabic. You've got to go back to the Arabic, which makes me realize that this is a supremacy type religion, which means that if you don't know the Arabic, let me tell you something, you don't know the religion. Apparently, If you don't know the Arabic, then you don't know the religion. And so to know the Arabic language, it comes from a certain people, which are the actual Arabs. So I've always contended that this religion is actually for the Arabs, from the Arabs, and for them only, because other peoples do not know this language. Okay, and so what happens is that when English speakers, who they apparently want to convert to Islam, start to question this, they make the English speaker seem as if they don't know what they're saying and refer them back to the Arabic, knowing that the English speaker doesn't speak the Arabic. So what it is that it keeps the Arab and the Arab language in a supreme position, and you must always go back to the Arab or the Arabic language, which makes me understand that Islam.
You know the funny thing. You know the funny thing.
Arab,
You know the funny thing is,
and them
all the Arabic grammarians are not even Arabs.
Hold up,
The two people that you're speaking to are not even Arabs, and we know Arabic. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I gotta address that because I'm not even a Muslim, but that reasoning doesn't make sense to me. Any religion which tongue is it originally written, it will be beneficial for you to understand the language it is. So if you really want to be accurate as far as being a Hindu or a Taoist, it would be beneficial to understand the language in which these texts were written in, to have a full understanding. It's not so if you want to be a Muslim and the Quran is originally written in Arabic, the logical conclusion is, hey, to better understand the religion, you will have to learn the language it was originally written in. Just like with the Bible. If you want to understand the Bible, it'll be beneficial for you to understand Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
Sarah was
so
correct,
then
right?
would you say
Sarah's definition was correct. The problem with
hang on. Sorry.
understanding
So then
they're
would
all
you say
regional religions.
So then how would an all-knowing God, okay, an all-powerful God, send his last message down in a language that only one people could properly understand? Does that not say supremacy?
No,
does that not say
I just told you that the main
people to you?
The main historical grammarians in the Arabic language were not Arabs. Do you understand that?
Let me answer Sarah's question. I can go to school and learn Arabic. It's not a language that I can't go.
For me personally, it took me 1 year to learn Arabic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if any religion, whether it be Islam, Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, it would be beneficial for you. Or even if you're into African, if you want to observe African religions, it would be beneficial for you to understand some of them languages, especially if you're in the Egyptian stuff. Bro, it would be beneficial for you to learn
for everyone.
You know,
is this religion for everyone?
It's for everybody that wants to join. It doesn't say a race specific. It doesn't say, well, if you look like this, you can't be a Muslim.
Bro,
I haven't seen that.
Let me tell you something about default positions and about unwritten rules. If I have a religion from God that is specifically written in Chinese, specifically written and come to the Chinese people, who do you have to go to properly understand the religion?
You have to go on to the language that was originally written in. It will be Mandarin.
So does that put the Chinese in the supreme position?
Not necessarily, because
because if you look at the ISIS, look at ISIS, they completely misunderstood the entire religion and they created Islamophobia
you
in
guys
the West.
are negating the facts, man.
But they're all Arabs.
I'm telling you. Okay,
I don't like this dishonesty. I don't like this dishonesty.
Is there an advantage? Okay, is there an advantage?
It's going to put the people whose language it came from, and this is why I say, if this God is for everyone, why now does this God choose one specific language, one specific people, and one specific book in which to leave his last will and testament?
But what I'm saying is that he could choose any culture he choose to give the message through. But it's not culture specific.
Muhammad was his last messenger, and he was he's in Arabia.
And plus that term Arab, like what is an Arab? That's such a vague and broad, ambiguous term. It doesn't specify any particular group of people.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Not a race. There's not a kingdom called Arab.
Hello, can I say something?
Yeah, go
Thank you. I was wanting to make that.
No. Can I say something? Listen, like Sarah said, Sarah's correct in his analysis. It's a regional religion. It was never supposed to be a global religion. It's regional. And he's correct in saying that you do have to refer back to the Arabic. Muslims will tell you straight up, if you haven't read the Quran in Arabic, you haven't read the Quran. They will tell you that.
That would be accurate, though. I mean, if you want to learn the Quran better, it would be beneficial. And again, with any language, if you want to follow Egyptian religion, it would be beneficial for you to start reading that stuff and understanding the language so you can get a better understanding. So I don't understand why it's area specific or people specific only, or
You're missing what
members only.
Sarah said, though.
But it's like that with every.
Hang on. The difference.
You're missing what Sarah said.
Sorry.
It's a
In the
regional
world.
No, hang
religion.
on,
It was
sorry.
never supposed to be
The
global.
difference.
But Jesus himself came as a
Right.
regional preacher. He came as a preacher to the Jews.
Thank you.
Jesus never exists, my friend.
Hang on. You are
Jesus never existed.
misconstruing.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
Hang on. And you are superimposing Abrahamic God terms for people who are not Abrahamic. The people of the quote unquote Kemetic or Egyptian religions were not telling people that this is a global system. They're not telling people that this is for everyone. It is region specific. It is not saying everyone in the world must come to our religion and know our gods. It's not saying that. The Abrahamic religions are saying that specifically. However, what they've done is they've put a certain people in the supreme position and then said, everyone must come to these people. Everyone must come to these language because this is God's last will and testament. And I'm telling you 100%, we know when we really think about it, that is BS. That is absolute BS. Because if this is a global God, then a global God would reveal his word in a global way, not in a singular way where everybody has to now gravitate towards these one people and this one language.
Alvin, I wanted to ask. Oh, sorry, Titus. Sorry. Alvin, I wanted to ask you the question that I asked. You gave a long answer, but you didn't actually say, if God can see into the future, why did he create Adam if he knew Adam was going to disobey him? The only person who answered it from an Abrahamic faith was the Muslim whose left his profile has him wearing sunglasses. He says there's certain things that human beings just comprehend that Allah does. But you didn't really give an answer, unless I missed it.
He made it. He knew. He put it in there. He said, "The day you eat of this tree is the day you will die." I mean, he did it on purpose. He said it right there in that verse. And then if you go to Isaiah 45:7, he says, "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." So everything that's happening, he's either making it happen or allowing it to happen. He said, "Hey, when you eat this fruit, that's when everything's going to go downhill." So,
well, what did he mean by die? Did he mean that Adam was going to die literally, or was it figuratively?
Well, I would say, and most people say, that's the beginning of decomposition. Right?
No, I'm not saying what you would say. I'm not saying what you would say. I'm saying, what does the literature say? When God said, hold on, let me ask you the question. When God said, when you eat this apple, you're going to die. We know Adam didn't die. So was he talking figuratively?
Yes, if you base it off the literature, he obviously didn't die in that 24-hour period of a day. Okay. And it would be the beginning of the decomposition process. But and they give a clue to that because they say, hey, he can't eat of the tree of life no more because he'll be like us, he'll be immortal.
And so this tree of life you speak of, it was on earth, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so all of this was taking place on earth.
Yes, with Adam, yes.
Okay, well, if you ask the Muslims, they will not tell you that. Can you see the two differences in the creation story?
I mean, if they have a different book that they feel.
Yeah, but it don't matter if it's got a different book. These are two literature, correct? You're saying God is, hold on, Alvin. You're saying God is creating Adam and Earth. The Muslims are saying he was brought down from somewhere to be Khalifa on earth. So right from the very beginning, we have a problem with the two books.
I mean, you're telling me water is wet right now. I mean, obviously you have their perspective on what they believe this happened, and then you have the biblical perspective. I mean, I don't know why this is a controversial thing right here.
You still haven't answered the question, Alvin. You've told me that he said, Adam, you will die, but you still haven't answered why he made the creation if he knew all these things were going to happen. You still haven't answered that. You've just
because he's the arbiter of evil and good. It says in Isaiah 45, I make the light and darkness, I make peace and create evil. He
But
created.
why does he create evil? Why? That's the simple question. Why?
Well, then that's the $1 million question. You would have
Okay,
to ask him
It's not a $1
personally.
million question, Alvin,
I
because the
mean,
other day I said to you, does evil beget
So hang on,
evil?
Alvin.
And you said,
you know what?
did you,
This
hold
is
on,
like,
didn't
Alvin.
I say to you the other day, does evil beget evil? And you said
okay.
yes. So
No,
if evil
Alvin,
begets...
So Alvin,
okay,
sorry,
no, but what you're asking is
Are
you
like
telling
these
me
are
that
these
God
kind
is
of
the
hold on,
devil?
these are these kind of questions. Why did God make the universe?
Alvin,
Like
sorry,
these are the kind of questions
Alvin,
you're asking me. I'm like,
Alvin,
what's
sorry to go back,
no way
but
of answering that.
you were talking about Isaiah 45:7. Are you telling me God is actually the devil as well?
Who said the devil is like the king of all everything evil?
No, you said that Isaiah 45:7. I agree with you. Isaiah
He's not
45:7 says
not the
God
devil.
creates evil. Is the devil evil?
The devil is a disgruntled employee. He does things that
Yo,
are
bro.
evil, but he's
All of
not
these PC terms, bro. You know these
he's
politically
not
correct
evil.
terms.
No,
Is the devil evil? Yes or no?
no, he's not evil incarnate, being that he's not the physical
Oh, so who is?
manifestation
So
of
then,
evil.
is God evil
What?
incarnate then?
No, listen to what I'm telling you. God created good and evil, as in Isaiah 45:7. The problem with the devil is his role in all of this has been amplified over the years. If you look in the he's only mentioned in the Bible, I think, what, 10 times maybe? So what he is a disgruntled employee. He has to do what God
Is
So he's not the
Shaitan and the
father of
devil the
evil
same
then.
has to
character?
do stuff. He's not like this imagery of a red guy with a pitchfork who has a throne in hell and like demons prancing up, like that is Dante's Inferno.
Is
There's
Cool.
no
So
Shaitan
who? So
and
okay,
the
cool.
devil the
Okay,
same
fine.
person?
So who? So then Alvin. Okay, so who is the father of evil then?
the Most High is the father of everything, good, evil,
God is the
light,
father of evil.
darkness. He is of everything, as I just
Thank
read
you.
to you in Isaiah 45:7.
So God is evil. That's fine. Thank
You
you.
can't. No, here's the
Alvin,
thing. It's a
Alvin,
hold up. Let me see this last thing to Sarah. You are understanding that Judaism is like Zoroastrianism and Taoism. It is a dualistic religion. Okay,
that's
it is
wrong.
a whole thing of light and dark, good and evil. If you do good, this happens. If you do bad, that happens, and vice versa. So it's not that God is good or evil. He is God. He is the creator of all things. Just like what you see in Taoism, they'll refer to this thing not necessarily as a god, but they'll still call it the Tao. That's that. And you'll see that yin yang sign where it's like the light, the dark, the little dark spot here and the light spot there. This is a dualistic religion. So it's more of this is how it is, and you can deal with it, or you'll just sort of succumb to it.
Alvin, is the Shaitan and the devil the same character?
Not necessarily, depending on there's particular parts in the
Okay,
Bible.
from the Christian and Muslim perspective, are they the same character? Put it that way.
I don't believe so based off the biblical text. In some cases there are, right? Like for example, the figure that you see in the book of Job, um, I don't necessarily think that that is the devil per se, as mentioned in the book of Revelations. It may be, but that particular thing is kind of
Well,
ambiguous.
the difference is, I mean, the Bible, in the Christian theology, he's a fallen angel. In Islam, he's a jinn. So there are so many differences. To call these Abrahamic religions is a joke. There's nothing similar about them at all, really. Except they're from the same region of the planet.
I think you're being a little hyperbolic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's the same. I mean, we're going into the realm of minutia right now, as far as
it's not minutia. It's not minutia.
Abraham
Two
being a
different
human being,
species of creation is not minutia.
not
No,
minutia.
I'm talking about this devil figure is not even a significant person in the text. Like he has been over amplified over the years, obviously because of the traditions that you see in medieval times, especially Dante's Inferno, where now all of a sudden you have 9 circles of hell and you have this, you know, like all this stuff.
Yeah, we're not talking about Dante and Furnace. We're talking about your literature.
Brother, the devil is the one who influenced Eve to take the apple. This is an important character, mythologically speaking.
Since when? Since recently.
But put it this way: if he hadn't influenced them to take the fruit from the tree of life, the world would be a different place. This is an important character in both mythologies.
Where did it say the snake is the devil?
It doesn't say that, but we're saying to you that there was a snake in the garden, correct?
Yeah, but where does it say the snake is the devil?
Hold on. It doesn't
No.
say the snake is the devil, but we're asking you that there was a snake in the garden, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. God didn't know that that snake was in the garden, did he?
He said he didn't know. I don't see a part where it says that.
Well,
Where
he
does-
must have known what the. So why was he allowing? I mean, I don't understand your concept.
just
Why
gave
was
you
he allowing the first creation? Why was he allowing his first creation to be deceived? And then
Because
blame him for it.
it's simple. It's because of Isaiah 45:7. I make peace and
Bruv,
calamity.
listen, before you jump to Isaiah, we don't even know who wrote that book because Isaiah was written over
You're
several
asking
centuries.
me for the literature, and I'm giving you the
Yeah,
literature.
I'm talking
You
to you
don't have
about. Listen, I'm talking to you about Genesis. You're
Yes.
jumping all over the way.
No,
I'm
but
talking
what
to you
I'm
about Genesis,
Okay.
not Isaiah.
No, but we're talking about Abrahamic literature. Now,
No,
if you just
listen-
put Genesis in a vacuum and don't use other books in order to explain the culture and what they thought about God, then you're just going to have to just leave that verse as is. But if you want from the literature, I can explain to you, they felt, the people that wrote this book, whether you believe it's real or not, they think God is the creator of all things, peace and calamity, light and darkness, good and evil, positive and negative. They think he's creator of all of that. Okay.
Well, I'll just say to you, God, if that's what you call God, that cannot be God because evil begets evil. Good is not harmful. So if God is good, he cannot beget evil. The evil that you speak of is supposed to be sought elsewhere in man because God only creates good. That's your confusion. So when you tell me that God is the creator of good and evil, that cannot be God. And you need to question if it's the devil who turned up to these so-called men.
Okay, you see how you're elevating the status of the devil as being the king of evil or evil incarnate? That is a modern theology that is not supported by the biblical text. The devil didn't create hell, God created hell. The devil didn't create the lake of fire, God created the lake of fire.
Dude, seriously, hold on a minute. You're talking to me. Hold on, you're talking about hell. Do you know that hell is a Norse goddess? Do you know that? You keep talking about these concepts that are based on Greek mythology. Hell is based on a Norse goddess. So how did that rent under? Hold on, my friend, don't get triggered. You're talking to me about hell, heaven. If you type up the word hell right now, it would lead you to a Norse goddess. Where did you get your concept of hell from, if not Greek mythology? Tell me.
Do you understand there's a difference between the etymology of the English word hell and the words Tartarus, Hades, and Sheol in the Bible? You're confusing the etymology.
Teach us, bro. Teach us.
You're confusing the etymology for the English word hell with Sheol in the Bible. That's a different thing.
How many words for hell are there in the Bible? You have Sheol.
There's 4 of them. You have Sheol. You got Sheol,
Gehenna,
Tartarus, and Hades.
Okay, so which one is hell?
All of them are different things. So
let me ask you something. Is Hades a Greek god? Yes or no? Just answer yes or no. Is Hades a Greek god?
I am going to.
Is Hades a Greek god? Yes or no?
No, I'm going to go in order.
You can't answer. Is Hades a Greek god? Yes or no?
Can I finish? Sarah asked me a question. I'm going to answer his question, then I'm going to get to you. So first off, we'll go to Hades first. Now, Hades is a reference to Sheol. During this time, everybody is speaking Greek, including Egyptians at this time. So they would use the word Hades to describe the underworld. And yes, that is the Greek word for the underworld. And yes, hold on.
No, you're making mistakes, my friend. You're making a mistake. They never use the word. They never use the word Hades. They never use the word Hades for the underworld. Be corrected. Be corrected.
Could you please just let me finish the thing?
Yeah, but you're lying, bruv. You're lying.
Well, then you can explain how I'm lying once I'm finished, okay? So, in the Bible, it is referred to an underworld, okay? That's how they refer to it in the world, Hades. And that's a particular place where both the wicked and the righteous go, okay? And you can see a reference to that, like in the parable of the rich man and poor man. Both the rich man and the poor man went down there, okay? And then you have Tartarus, and Tartarus is a place, it's kind of like a spirit penitentiary. Okay,
Stop
right?
lying, bruv. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't
I-
know what you're talking about, bruv. Stop lying.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
know nothing.
What I just
You're
lied.
misleading the people.
What I
Close
just
your
said.
mic. Close
What
your
did I
mic.
just lie
You're
about?
misleading the people.
Okay.
Hades is a Greek god. The underworld is
I
called
just said
Tartarus.
Tartarus.
You don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
talking about within the biblical text.
Bruv, the stories you're talking about in the biblical text comes from Greek mythology. Are you stupid or something?
No, I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay, so Alvin.
I got to be able to finish I just want to finish this thing. I don't
Okay,
need.
finish.
I just don't want to get cut off. Okay.
Okay, finish.
The way Tartarus is used in the Bible is that it's a holding place for spirits. So when the guy was demon possessed in there, the pigs was like, "Don't send us back to hell." Well, the Greek word they used there was Tartarus. You know, that was a holding cell for that, and also used as the bottomless pit. That's Tartarus.
Okay.
And then you have Gehenna. That's a literal place in.
Gehenna is an actual place.
Yeah, it's an actual. Right, where they used to burn dead bodies. Right.
That's correct.
And then you have Sheol in the Old Testament, which could mean generically a grave pit.
A grave, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also analogous. That's translated into Hades too. So when, for example, when the spirit of Samuel came up, he came up out of the ground, coming from that Sheol. You know.
So now we've kind of established that there are 4 definitions of hell within the Bible, and neither of them are the literal one that we see with the devil and the fire and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
hang on. And we also have established that Hades and the other Tartarus are actually to do with Greek mythology. My question would be, how did Greek mythology make its way into God's word?
Not Greek mythology, Greek language.
No, you're lying. Stop lying. Mute your mic. Mute your mic. Let me teach the people.
I wish
Hades. Look, Jude, mute your mic. You're lying. Mute your mic. I'm here to cook you, Christian, today. Mute your mic. Hades, my friend. Hades is a Greek god. He's the brother of Zeus. He rules the underworld. Underworld is called the underworld, and in the underworld you have Tartarus, which is a place for those who offend the gods. You don't know what you're talking about. And answer the question: how did Greek mythology end up in your Bible?
Calm
Stop
down,
dancing.
Rich kid, calm down. Come on.
He keeps saying don't get triggered.
When I'm ready to cook you, I'll cook you, bruv.
Nah,
Today
you
I'm
can't
cooking
cook
this
no one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Answer the question.
Okay, so here we go. You're confusing language with religion. Okay, so when I say, "Hey, I'm taking off work Friday," does that mean that I'm somehow giving reverence to the Norse god Freya? Or if I'm saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do something this Thursday," does that mean because I use the word? Hold on, good rich kid, come on.
I just answer your question,
You
bro.
monologue. Hold on, I'm not done talking yet. Okay, just like Thursday, I'm putting Thursday on a sheet of paper, and I'm saying I'm gonna do something Thursday. Does that mean that I worship Thor? No, you're committing the genetic fallacy. You're saying that because linguistically, Hades, Tartarus, and these things are used this way in Greek mythology, because when the Jews started speaking Greek, they're using these things in their theology, therefore they're using the same concepts. That is called the genetic fallacy, bro. When they're using Hades, that is the closest Greek equivalent to Sheol in Hebrew. So when they're just like your example with hell, that's the English etymology for the word hell. But when people say hell, that doesn't mean they're referring to that Norse goddess either.
Dude, you're not talking right. You're not talking right. You're talking, but you're not talking right. I'm asking you the question.
You're confusing language.
Yo, guys, can I just interject and to say, in a couple of weeks' time, myself, Big Bro, and the Joint Vision have got a new talk show coming. So tune in. You guys continue.
Yeah. So you have etymology in language, and you have religion. Okay. And I'll give you another example. Okay. The Hebrew word for sun is Shamash. Okay. But Shamash is the name of a sun god in Persia or in Akkadians, right? That's the name of the sun god. But you would be committing the genetic fallacy if you said the Hebrews worship the sun god Shamash because they're using that word. No, it simply became the generic word for sun also. So because you see Greek words in the Bible like Tartarus, Hades, and all these kind of things, that does not then mean they have amalgamated Greek mythology into their doctrine. It simply means they started speaking Greek. They started using Greek words, and those were the closest Greek equivalents to things like Sheol. That's what we're dealing with.
Okay, I noticed on the panel there are 3 other members of the Abrahamic faith. I think they're Muslims. The Hebrew Israelite Alvin has been doing a great job trying to answer the question. You still haven't answered my question, but we'll leave it at that. I want any of the Muslims who've been listening to please give me an answer to this question. It's a very simple question. God created everything. If God knew and can see into the future, why did he create things that he knew were going to disobey him? Whether it's the serpent or
Because he
Adam.
wanted to. That's the answer.
He just wanted to. He just wanted to.
If he didn't want it to happen, then it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but why did he want to? What was the point? Was it a sadistic thing or was it a playful thing?
See, when you say why would he want to,
yes,
that then would require me to go inside of his brain and see what he was thinking.
Oh, so basically you don't know. All right, sorry.
No, of course we wouldn't know. I mean, just like if you did certain things, unless you audibly told me, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to dig inside of your brain to see why you had that particular impulse.
Thanks very much. So you don't know. All right, fair enough. All right, thanks.
Can I also make a comment on your question? Hello, witness?
Yep, sure, please go for it.
Yeah, so, Allah also tells us that, we're being tested in this life. So it's like an examination for us to see whether we are worthy of Jannah. So Satan, Shaitan, does have access to us, meaning he can invite us to do the wrong things. And if a person is being guided by God, they're not going to be inclined towards worshiping Satan versus God.
So
also, to make a point, yeah.
So the whole purpose of this is a test from Allah. It's a test.
Hold that thought real quickly. I've just come back in, but I haven't been seeing the super chats, right? I've been missing out. But I got to salute Ultra Funky, who's been doing his thing. And of course, John McDermott is hit us up with a super chat and says here, God has the right to regret what he himself has set in motion. He is not like our minds. He can indeed lament over something he knew was about to take place. Yeah, buddy. Shouts out to John McDermott for always holding it down, right? So, guys, if you've been hitting us up on the super chat, right? I apologize that I haven't actually read out all your super chats. If you're going to do it from now onwards, my eye is going to be on the ball, okay? But family, whilst I've still got you here and you're listening to my beautiful voice, can I get you guys to hit up the like button? Like. We've got over 300 people tuned in right now. Please hit the like button. Let us know that you're here to actually support Titans TV, or you're here to support whoever's dropping that knowledge right about now. And let's get it on, all right? Gabs, my goodness. You know what? Yeah, the panel, like everybody who's trying to get in, I apologize. The panel is fully booked right about now. Hopefully, when somebody jumps out, you guys who've got the link, just simply hit the link and jump straight in. All right, family.
Yo, Kalam, listen, I'm gonna sacrifice my space humbly for somebody else. I'd just like to say, as I always say, whilst we can't all simultaneously be right, we can all simultaneously be wrong. So just take a minute and let that sink in. And with that said, panel, everyone in the chat, peace.
Big up.
Peace to Ultra Fun KKKK.
I'm not trying to attack any religion, whether it's the Hebrew Israelites, the Muslims, or the Christians. I'm just trying to understand your God. That's why I posed that question. So I've learned now from the Muslims, he did what he did because it was a test. And from the Hebrew Israelite, we can never know why God did what he did because we're not God, is what you're saying, I think. That's what I've gathered so far.
That would apply to humans as well. Like if somebody likes watching a particular television show, unless I've talked to him or he told me, I wouldn't know why he's doing that, you know, unless I can go on the side of his brain. You know, even on a human level, I wouldn't even be able to understand that.
Okay,
Unless
but
he was,
listen, brother. If that's the case, your opinion, why would you base your life on something you have no idea about? Why would you do that?
that's just one element I have no idea about. I have idea about, you
But
know,
that's
like
an
not
important element.
killing.
That's an
Hold on,
important element, bro.
hold on. I have an idea that, you know, not killing, not stealing stuff is probably a bad idea. You know, I know those things to be bad. Certain laws as far as cleanliness. I know touching a dead carcass may give me some infections. I mean, it's not an all or nothing kind of thing. It's a nuanced kind of thing. And I know when having these discussions, we like to oversimplify things, you know, because that makes it easier to deal with. But you're talking about 66 books that were over 1,000 years in the making. Some of these books are centuries apart. You gotta come in with a scalpel, not an axe.
But
Surgery.
sometimes common sense must triumph, you know. And in reference to what the Muslims believe, you know, it's a test. Listen, life is hard enough. I don't need to have to deal with God's test on top of regular life.
I'll tell you this: whether the God exists or not, the reality is the same. So if I say a God created a world of good and evil, positive and negative, that's still true even if he doesn't exist, because we do live in a world of positive and negative, and light and dark, and that, you know. So either way, we're still going to have to deal with the effects of this world we live in. It's just a matter of some people want to attribute it to a God and some people don't. You
So
still have to
Ricky,
live in it.
when you're challenged in life, right, and you're facing an obstacle, you know, who do you seek to lift that burden off of you?
Sorry, you're talking to me?
Yeah. Do you face these challenges on your own? You know, how do you deal with challenges and obstacles that come up in your life?
Okay. I refer to something that did exist. I go to my ancestors because I know that they were here because I'm here. I don't go to an imaginary God who I've never seen and apparently left a book and apparently left some prophets, which nobody's seen in 1,000 years.
Who did your ancestors go
That's
to?
what I do.
Who did
You
your
speak
to them.
ancestors seek for help? You know,
My ancestors went to their ancestors. My ancestors went to their ancestors. Because
You
my
talk
ancestors,
women.
my ancestors predate all Abrahamic faiths, all of them.
So you can
Predate them.
speak to your ancestors?
You can speak to a mythological
So
character. So I
No,
can definitely speak to my ancestors.
I'm just asking you.
Yeah, so
You
I can speak to
to
my
your
ancestors the same way you can pray to your God.
I understand that. So, but you understand that's not scientific, right?
Neither is your religion, but people
I
believe it.
understand that. I understand. It's not me calling the kettle black. It's you calling the kettle black. You're
No,
saying
I'm not.
pray to these
I'm
things.
not. Because I know
Listen,
my ancestors were here. I know they were here.
let me tell you something. You're accusing people of talking to things that you say don't exist, but in all fairness, your ancestors have been deceased. You can't talk to them based off your own logic.
But they were here at one
But
time.
they're not here now, and you're telling me you can talk to spirits.
I never
So you
said
can't
that.
be
I
the
said I
pot calling the
communicate.
kettle
I said
black.
I communicate with my ancestors.
But you're the pot
It's like
calling
it's
the
it's
kettle
like
black,
this.
bro.
Bare lies.
It's
Yeah, if you can,
it's
how
like
can you
Can't have
this.
communicate
it
with
both ways.
spirits but not
Air
the
control.
Most High?
It's
Doesn't make
like
no sense.
this. When we talk about this kind of stuff, it's really simple. It goes into the realm of belief, okay, and we all understand
Yes.
that it goes in the
Yes.
realm of belief.
Yes.
And so when we're in the realm of belief, nobody's belief can be exalted over anybody else's. That's
No
my
problem.
general
So
that's
look,
my general rule. However, my brother here talking about his ancestors, myself talking about my ancestors, none of us ever tell you that everybody must follow our ancestors. One, everybody, if they don't follow what our ancestors say, they are going to burn. Two, and if you don't follow our ancestors, then you are less than the rest of the humans on the planet. Three, so there is a very big difference in
no,
somebody
but
claim.
let me
Hang
tell you
on,
why. Okay,
hang
go
on,
ahead.
hang on. There's a very big difference in somebody claiming that they communicate with their ancestors. to somebody who apparently communicates with an Abrahamic God. An Abrahamic God comes with conditions. It comes with arrogance. It comes with an egotistical way of being. To communicating with your ancestors is a very personal experience. Okay, and if I do it, I don't expect anyone else to do it. As a matter of fact, call me crazy. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay, so Sarah,
but we're not expecting no one else to do it either. Though.
No, but here's Sarah.
I'm not even finished. Call me crazy, call me delusional, call me anything you want. I'm still going to do it. However, the Abrahamic religions do not work like that. If you call them crazy, they say, no, we're not crazy. You are crazy. And you are crazy because of X, because my God said X, Y, and Z. Even though they're in the exact same boat as belief when it comes to people communicating with their ancestors. And
but
that,
you call Abraham,
but
you call them crazy though.
Is
right, that's what
them crazy.
So Sarah,
101.
Like that's hypocritical, bad.
Okay, so Sarah, if you said that to me, I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't even be debating you about that. Hey, that's your belief, fine. But Ricky's like, how do you believe in something mythical and magical like that? Like, how would you do that? He's coming with that verbiage. Okay, so if he came with that verbiage that you're believing in something magical. Now, with all the things you said, listen, all the things you said, fine, okay. It's not in a proselytizing kind of thing to pray to your ancestors. Like you're not spreading throughout the globe saying, hey, the praying to ancestor religion, we want all y'all to do that. Okay, I get that.
Right.
But I'm talking about when you talk to people, there are no grounds for you to say, Alvin, you're believing in magic and mystical stuff. When you're praying to your ancestors,
I tell you why.
It is the pot calling the kettle black.
No, I tell you why there is though. Because the people that claim a Abrahamic God claim it as you. I'm speaking to this panel, but generally they claim it as a fact of reality.
Yes.
They claim the
so it's
Abrahamic
not a fact
God.
that you pray to your that you talk to
we
your
walk by faith, not by sight, though.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Thank you, Ezra.
Hold
Thank
on,
you, Ezra.
hold on.
Thank you for
Let him
that.
finish speaking, innit? You
Hang
wanted
on,
me to
hang on.
let him finish speaking.
Let me mute my mic. Go ahead.
Hang on. Thank you, Ezra, for saying that. I appreciate that. I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I actually appreciate that. But what general people who follow Abraham religions do is they preach it as a fact. Of course, I cannot preach me communicating with my ancestors as a fact because facts require evidence. Facts require proof. Okay? So I cannot preach that as a fact. I can preach it as a belief based on quote unquote faith, based on personal, interaction. I can use it as an anecdotal evidence, but I cannot prove it in the realm of facts. Neither can you prove your God in the realm of facts, and you have to understand that.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we do understand that. That's why the Bible tells us that we walk by faith and not by sight. So we're not claiming to have evidence.
I appreciate that, Ezra.
You know what I'm saying?
Not gonna lie, I
so
appreciate
that.
I don't particularly. Okay, so Sarah, this is the thing. I think there's a difference between an opinion and an unverified claim. Okay, you talking to your ancestors, I don't think is your opinion. I just think it's a claim that's unverified that could be a fact, right? But it's just not measurable on an objective level. Okay, so
yeah, that's a belief.
No, it's not a belief. Like if
in the general world, I'm talking about in the general realm, it's a belief.
No, but
if I go to you,
okay. So if you're talking to your ancestors and you're experiencing the phenomenon and they talk back, you don't believe it's happening. You know it's happening.
No, that is my experience.
Right, exactly. So
that is my
a belief would be somebody
Alvin, hang on. How do I prove my personal experience to the general public?
That's what I was saying. There's a difference between objective fact and unverified claim and opinion and belief. So
but that's what belief is. Belief is is something that you hold true, that you as an individual hold true, but you cannot prove. It's unverifiable.
Not okay. To me, this is a belief. If you said, "Hey, yeah, I met a guy that can talk to his ancestors, so therefore I believe ancestor worship or veneration is real because I met somebody that can do that. But you yourself have not did it. That would be a belief. If you haven't experienced it at all and not have seen it for yourself, but then just said somebody else did it, so therefore I think it happened.
No. What it is
if you're doing it, you still may be wrong, right?
no, Alvin. What it is, yeah, is understanding where to take your ego out of the conversation. I claim. Listen, I claim. I, Sarah Garvey, claim I communicate with my ancestors. That's my claim, right?
Yeah, but is that spiritually or physically? Do you actually speak to their dust in the ground, or do you speak to their spirit?
No, when I meditate, that's my.
Yeah, but how are you? But what are you communicating with? Is it their spirit?
Obviously, my brain. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah, I mean the spirit. I get what you're saying, Sarah. And
we know what he's saying, but I want to wait there. I want to understand what he's talking about. So, like, when you're saying you communicate with them, is that spiritually, or are you communicating with the dust that was buried there?
No,
physical
body? Spiritually, quote unquote.
Okay, so
what we know as spiritually.
You should have no problem with the spirit of the Most High. Then
I have,
and you should have no problem with prayers.
No, listen, fantastic, Ezra.
Huh?
Ezra, on the surface, I agree with you. However, what happens with people that follow your system? Yeah, they don't keep it like I keep it. I say,
don't worry about the people. Worry about the actual faith system. What the book's telling you.
I got to worry about the people, bro. I got to worry about the people because the people.
Like, worry about your relationship with the Most High. Don't worry about other.
No. Because I tell you why I worry. Because the ego and the arrogance comes into play. Because a group of them get together saying, yeah, we all done this and it's this way, and they start to attempt to tell people that their experience is quote unquote the experience.
So okay, then question. Yeah, but question: if you've got one wicked ancestor, right? Are you not gonna communicate with the ancestors before them because you've got one wicked one?
Let me answer this one, Sarah. Let me answer this. Sarah, if you've got a wicked ancestors in your lineage, you don't communicate with the wicked ones. You ask for what we call unsamanful, okay? Which means the revered ancestors.
That's correct.
Okay, that's how you do it. You don't pray to, you don't speak to disincarnate ancestors.
But like you said, you are your ancestors. Like I said, you are.
You need to understand this.
But listen. I understand that. Like I said, I understand about libations and all these things. But what I'm saying is, like the brothers are always claiming you are your ancestors.
When I talk to
you are those wicked ones.
When I talk to Najim,
you are those wicked ancestors. Is it?
No, hang on, Ezra. I will always tell people we are from the lineage of who we came from, whether that person or those people be bad or good or whatever. Because I personally believe that bad and good and bad exist within every single human being. You have you have the ability to do bad and you have the ability to do good. You, Ezra, and everyone on this panel has that ability, right? So it exists within all of us. It's what we choose to actually do. When I communicate, which is a very personal thing, okay, I communicate with, and I said, I know it's a claim, I know I can't prove it, and I'm not even trying to tell people to believe me. Do you understand? It's just a claim that I'm making, right?
But okay, so
but this is a claim. But Alvin, one second, fam.
Almost
1 second. So,
for the subject.
Go on, like, come on, man. Just chill, man.
All right, let me
rapping
speak. So,
for a minute.
Guy doesn't close his mic.
So
what I'm saying is,
yeah, go on, Ezra.
Go on. No, go
no,
on.
It's
all I'm saying is, like,
go on.
I understand. Go on.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna say this thing because so look, this is what I'm saying, Sarah. Okay, if you
I was actually going somewhere with him.
If you experience something, okay, and it's not just something you heard or somebody told you or you read it out of a book, you saw something, you experienced something, that thing, at least within your head, happened.
Yes.
It could be an illusion, it could be all that, but that right there
is your personal experience.
But I don't think that's a belief, because you're not saying I heard this thing, somebody told me.
Alvin, you're not understanding me. To me, I had the personal experience.
Right.
So let's be honest. If you have let's say you have a dream, okay, and you yourself have a dream that is so real, okay, and that dream comes true or whatever, how do you convince people outside of the experience that you had as an individual that what you're saying is a fact? How
Right.
would you do that?
Yeah, and I separate that. No, you're correct right there. I'm separating what you experience from objective fact. I do believe in subjective fact. Well, from a personal experience,
That's
as
an oxymoron. That's
no, it's
literally
not.
an
I'm gonna
oxymoron.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if a black cat walked into my room and then walked back out, it would be a fact that that happened.
Right.
Just
Okay.
because I couldn't prove it to you and got a videotape of the cat walking in my room and walking back out, I'm not going to say it wasn't a fact because I couldn't prove it to the outside world.
Fantastic. But then now we go into the laws of what is more plausible and what isn't.
No, but no, all of that.
Hang on. In the general, in the general realm of human beings, we know black cats exist. Okay, so when you're speaking to human beings are not stupid. They say, okay, it's very plausible that a black cat walked into your room and walked out. Hang on. Let me finish. Let me land, please.
Okay, go ahead.
The general public, general human beings understand black cats actually exist. Okay, so you telling somebody that a black cat walked into your room and walked out is not an extraordinary claim.
That's not my premise, though. The extremity of the claim is not the premise. The premise is I told you something I can't prove right now. That's the premise. So regardless, it could be as mundane as a cat walking into your room, or as extraordinary as an elf walking in your room. The point is, it's a fact that
it's just conversation about
Hold on, listen, hold on,
madness, man. This is madness.
Hold on, no, it's not semantics. Hold on.
I want to get back to where he was in a minute.
It would be a fact, even though I couldn't prove it objectively. That's what I'm saying. It would still be a.
But the thing is, you're negating.
I'm not negating
objectivity.
that. The premise is the same.
No, I tell you what I think you're negating objectivity. We live in a realm as human beings in the world of objectivity. We all know, that if I slap in your face, it might hurt. We all know that we all walk down the street. We all know that we all go to work, or some of us don't, whatever. Like, we live in a quote unquote reality. And within our reality, if somebody says, yeah, I just met with my pet dragon and he flew me to the next town, and I went to go and see my alien friend. We know that claim or that story is not within the realms of what we know as human beings. Okay, we know that if somebody says some shit like that, you're gonna be like, yo, bro, baby dragon, alien friend, it doesn't make sense.
So let me tell you what just happened.
Flying
all you're telling me is that the cat walking into my room is more believable than the dragon coming into my room.
Of course it is, because we've all seen cats.
Hold on. But it would still simply be a belief to the outside world. It's just one seems more plausible. And my premise remains saying that, hey, just because I can't prove to you a cat walked into my room does not mean that it's not a fact.
But
brother Alvin, are you not hearing what Sarah was saying? Alvin,
it's just more plausible.
The man's delusional. It's delusional.
Listen.
He's delusional.
Listen, if a man says a cat walks in your room, that's believable. If a man says I went on a flying donkey to heaven, that's not believable.
But Ricky, unless I have the video camera and took a sample of the
we're not Muslims, man.
Dude,
I wouldn't be able to prove it to you.
Your philosophy is so weak.
Alvin,
put me to sleep.
Alvin,
I think you're arguing a very silly argument, because if I said to you today, I went to work.
Okay. If you said that,
hang on. You cannot prove that I went to work, right? And I cannot prove to you that I went to work, right? Yeah. But the claim that I'm making, right, is very plausible, right?
That's why I think you're blending two different arguments here. You're talking about an argument from plausibility and believability. I'm talking about whether you can prove something or not prove something, regardless of how extraordinary it is.
Yeah, regardless of what it is, yeah.
So as mundane as a cat walking into the room, sure, it's believable. But unless I have a video camera and a sample of cat hair or something, I can't objectively demonstrate that happened. So that doesn't then mean it didn't happen just because I can't prove it.
So I can't even believe we're
You know
having
what
this
it is?
conversation.
No, but hang on.
Seriously, this is.
Now, one second, Rich Kid. You know what it is, fam? It's like what Ty was saying that day, innit? Like him going through that and like going into a country, leaving no records there, like sending no paperwork from there. Like he can't prove to anyone that he was there. You know
Correct.
what I'm saying? But it's an objective fact to him. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
this is all the
but is the
brother's
story
trying to say.
believable? Is the story believable, Ezra?
That's why
Yeah,
I think
but that doesn't make it. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Alvin, man.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Ezra.
Let Ezra speak. Let Ezra speak.
What I'm saying is, yeah, like I understand that it might be more plausible than the other story, innit?
Right. Okay. So, like I said, there's a point in our existence where we have to ask ourselves: if somebody comes to me and says certain things, is it more plausible that what they're? Because we have to kind of gauge when people are lying based on our knowledge. Right?
Yeah, but you can't gauge whether he's lying or not. Yeah, you can't.
No,
so
100% you cannot, because someone can always be lying to you. They can always be lying to you.
If he comes
right?
to you with something that sounds implausible, yeah, and you would dismiss it, but you can't outright say it's a lie. You can't.
But
it just sounds implausible.
But Ezra, it's like it's like you go into school. We all went to school, right? And if you said, "Oh, sir, the reason why I didn't do my homework, yeah, is because my baby dragon ate my homework."
Mm-hmm.
If you looked at your teacher and said, "Well, you know, you can't prove that it's not a baby dragon, sir," bro, he's gonna dash you out the class, bro. Because he knows
I think
within his realm.
Reggie, greetings.
Greetings. Hey, sorry, I think
Man.
we've been debating
Oh,
two
man.
different things for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah. You know what it is? One of them is
we've been
belief. One of
What's
them's
up,
belief and one of them's plausibility. Get me? And that's the thing. It's two different arguments, like you're saying. But Sarah, I wanted to get back to you with the spirituality thing because I feel like we're going somewhere. And then this is just really a non-argument. It's all about objective and subjective, innit? That's what we're talking about. So, like, when we go back to the spirituality now, yeah, and like it's good. I feel like we're getting somewhere because you communicating spiritually, but then at the same time you say people who are Abrahamic people who are in the Abrahamic faiths are crazy because they're praying and communicating spiritually to what they believe is their creator.
No. That's not
so
what I'm saying.
What's the problem?
I'm saying for you to claim something, yeah, in the natural world, okay. Now, quote unquote, you're coming out of your supernatural experience. It's like, you know, when people say they experience the Holy Ghost, Ezra, yeah?
Yeah.
People go to church, they say they experience the Holy Ghost. I wasn't experiencing what they were experiencing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't.
Neither was I.
Neither was you. But they come out of that and say, "Oh my God, it was this and it was that and it was Jesus and it was all this kind of stuff." Now, that's their claim. Can they prove that to you?
No, but that's
however,
we're just going back into objective.
Right, exactly. But did they experience that?
Well, to them.
Yeah, to them they experienced
it. Subjective to them, yeah, because
course.
You see them rolling on the floor, sweating on, and doing all sorts of madness.
Fantastic. So Ezra, what I'm trying to say is, yeah.
One sec.
What I'm trying to say is, yeah, the people that claim to experience the Holy Ghost cannot come out of that experience and explain it to. Imagine you're going to explain to the whole world that what you experience is an objective fact, and everyone that doesn't experience the Holy Ghost is evil or whatever.
It's objective to them. No. Listen, Sarah. Yeah, it's objective to them. That doesn't make you evil for not believing. Like, I didn't believe it. A lot of the time I thought, yo, get up, man. You're being stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Did you roll around?
That doesn't make me
Did you roll
evil.
around, yeah?
Did it, though, I'm not going to lie.
Did you speak in tongues as well, Ezra? Did you speak in tongues? So coming out now.
My great ancestor. Like, you're embarrassing us, man.
Ezra, were you shaking your tambourine and
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had the tambourines.
You and Sister Beatrice were inspiration.
I was beating that stuff. Good. Wait there. Let's just. All I'm saying, Alvin, 1 second, fam. You've had your little time to build.
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, yeah. So, like, I'm glad we're on. I feel like we've reached the understanding of each other now because we're both communicating spiritually with what empowers us. So
correct.
We believe that's our creator. Yeah. So, like,
Yeah,
That's
but
it
Ezra,
then.
you're different though. I'm not gonna lie. What you've said to me today is different, yeah, than what people generally say.
Nah,
So if
I don't.
so,
That's
if
because I've been teaching Ezra. Because I've been
right.
teaching.
So
Ah,
if
rich kid,
Me and
behave,
Gav,
behave.
been
Yeah, I'm
schooling.
coming for you in a minute, fam. I'm
yeah, but
coming for
Ezra,
you.
this is the thing though.
Look,
This is the thing though,
Yeah,
Ezra.
go.
Yeah. If I speak to Ezra on a 1-to-1, me and Ezra may be able to reason. Yeah. But if I speak to X, Y, and Z person who they may not say the same thing that Ezra says, and that's the same thing.
But Sarah,
And
what I'm saying is, it's for you, yeah, to get your understanding with your creator. Forget this person and forget what I said.
what do you mean the creator? Hang on.
You and your relationship. Get me?
Hang on, Ezra. Go on.
Whoa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking
He
about?
doesn't
No,
believe in the creator.
I'm saying, okay, then it's about you and your. Well, he does believe in the creator, just not our ones, and he does believe in energy.
Energy
Okay, then
is
energy.
energy,
So
man.
but energy is what creates.
There's no
us,
belief.
innit?
There's
So
no
you have a
belief in
creator,
that.
bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
but man,
but you have a
listen,
creator, though,
listen,
innit?
yeah,
According to your knowledge, you have a creator, bro. So like, all I'm saying is,
Nah. You got me.
Ezra,
You got me all
Ezra,
the way
listen,
fucked up, son.
you have,
Ezra,
bro.
listen.
Go on.
But man, listen, the thing is, man don't pay energy now. Man pray to the dead ancestor that he can't see no more.
Yeah, but it's a spiritually. Yeah.
Who prays to
on
my
the brother.
ancestor? I don't
So the
pray
thing
to
is
no
that it's all,
ancestors.
so there's a spiritual action.
There's a difference between prayer and giving reverence.
Why you meditate?
I don't
He
pray
meditates to
them.
them. Then get me?
I don't pray to them. I revere them and ask for their opinion and guidance on certain
Opinion.
subjects. In my belief,
Yeah.
we have
Praying
God.
to them. That's the same
My
thing.
God is called Enyame and Enyamewa. My God. And the brother right there with the black cap on and the white hat is probably your ancestral God too. You just probably don't know that because you're probably a Christian or you're a Muslim today. But your ancestors,
Nah.
my brother, predate
So
any
man get
Abraham.
cold feet. But just come on, man can
All of them.
with 1 minute. Man can give 1 minute to speak, you know. Man get cold feet because they can't have 1 minute to speak. And then they long and speak all along. Want some man. A bullying thing on the van. Listen, me, I say.
God,
The same
dog.
point, Ezra, I pick up the same point they pick up over. So the Muslim is praying to someone, to Allah, who they can't see. But the Muslim have an empirical junction and say have a Quran, which is formulated information, and they say Allah give us his Quran. So at least the Muslim have more evidence than a man who pray to a dead person that he can't see is no more. So he claimed that the dead person hear him and respond to him.
Yes? That's my claim.
So the Muslim claim that Allah, who they can't see also, like you can't see the dead person, Sarah. The Muslim claim that Allah hears us and Allah responds to us. But the Muslim have something extra where you don't have. The Muslim have an empirical document has been preserved. Say Allah give us this. You don't have that document from the dead person.
No.
So the Muslim have a stronger argument.
He's not trying to get the rest of the world to follow his belief.
Wait. To my Jamaican brother talking, we have something called the Odu Ifa, okay, which is an oral tradition, which is 9,000 years unbroken, okay? It's an oral tradition. It's only now it's only now being written down.
Kwame, listen, Kwame, listen.
You got it wrong, brother. You don't know what you're talking about. You get me?
Stop talking over. Yeah, but you're talking over people. You see, this is what I don't like. No, hold on, we're big people, but it doesn't necessarily mean. Hold on. It doesn't necessarily mean because you're coming from a Quran that we have to stop and listen. So he's telling you something before he could finish. You're talking over him. This is what I don't like.
I hear him say still. I hear him say more answer what him say. Me hear him say still.
So the Jamaican guy says to me that he has a book. Okay. So it's and that's cool because I got a comic book and I got books on my shelf. However, the book that you have stands on the shoulders of quote unquote the Injil and quote unquote the Old Testament. That's what it stands on the shoulders of, if we're honest with ourselves.
Sarah, wait.
Objectively. Hang on,
Sarah,
I'm not
listen.
finished. I'm not finished.
Well, I mean, why can't someone just finish, dude? Why can't somebody just finish? This is what I said to you the other day. What does the Quran teach you about patience and decorum? What does it teach you?
Which you know you're sorry upon the same page.
Bruv, no, but let him finish. I sit down and listen to you, but you don't let no one talk. It's unfair, bro. It's unfair.
All right, sorry.
Right.
Sorry,
so within my knowledge, okay, within my knowledge, and it could be wrong, could be right, but within my knowledge, the Abrahamic books, okay, are written by men. They're not written by quote unquote God. So what you are now doing, okay, is coming to me telling me, oh yeah, Sarah, I've got a book. And I will tell you, you've got a book written by men who stand on the shoulders of one man or one group of people and on the shoulders of another group of people. And none of those groups of people, either the Jew or the Christian, take you seriously. None of the quote unquote and just on a totally objective level, totally objective. If everyone watches football here, okay, and I watch football, I'm a Liverpool fan, okay. You've got the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game is when the referee blows the whistle to begin the game. That's the Jewish people for me. The Jewish people started this stuff. They were there at the beginning. The Christians came, at halftime. Okay, so they added on at halftime. The Muslim came at time added on and attempted to tell the people that were there at halftime and the beginning of the game that their stuff is the beginning.
Real talk. That's
okay?
real talk.
Is the beginning. So you, my friend, I don't even care about your book. The Quran to me is nothing, bro.
Since the man about in a rich.
So Sarah, you said that they came what? Half? They came at the.
No, they came at time added on, bro.
When Liverpool was 3-0 down.
They came time added on.
When Liverpool was 3-0 down.
Listen, how is a man that got? Hang on. How is a people that got? How is people that got substituted on in time added on gonna tell the rest of the people that they were there at the beginning of the game?
That wasn't my point, but you do already.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
Wait, listen. Can I speak now? Can I speak now? Can I speak, Rich? Can I just sit? Can I respond? What Sarah just did is a clear rendering. He do a one cherry picking out of what I think, pick up from what Ezra was saying. Yes? And I don't even go into the detail and the content of the book. But I'm just showing that the Muslims are doing the same exact spiritual thing what you are doing. But them have one thing extra over you. Yes? They have a book from the unseen one where them are pray to. You see the brother come when I'm Ricky and say, but we have these things. No, that's not the point. When the ancestor dead, that's when they should produce those books and give you. You cannot say ancestor give you no book when they're dead. That's my point. So you can't pull a false past me.
Listen, my Jamaican brother.
I don't listen.
My Jamaican brother.
Hang on.
You're talking about the Bible like we haven't got one.
Let me finish with
Rich,
fam, you can't prove that. You can't prove that 8,000 years nonsense, fam. That's a lie.
Rich, why don't you tell him let me finish like how you did to me a while ago with Sarah? Some man is partial right now.
I don't need a book.
Let me finish my point.
Hang on.
Sorry, man, I was away. Sorry, I was away. Sarah, let him finish because he's going to say I didn't give him the time. Let him finish, Sarah, and then go.
Let the guy finish. Let him finish.
Go on, Kwame. Sorry, go on.
Yes, I said I give a holistic context a while ago, picking from Ezra, that you praying to something that you can't see no more.
I don't pray to anything. Stop that talk, man.
Damn, let me finish, man. Rich.
No. I'm not going to allow you to.
But we say he doesn't pray. He doesn't pray.
I don't pray to no one.
He doesn't pray. He's saying he doesn't.
About?
Rich.
Go on. But he's saying he doesn't pray. But don't say he prays.
Yeah, Rich, you stop.
Okay, go on, Kwame. I'm not the monitor here, but go on, talk.
Yeah, but you stopped me from interject. I was interject and you stopped me.
Sarah said something. Sarah said something and then I came in. Sarah,
I know.
Sarah, okay, Sarah said he doesn't pray, so comment.
Get that out of your head, man.
I know, Rich. I know what you're saying.
Okay, go on, comment.
But even upon the minimum time I was on, I was interjecting and you stopped me and then I abide by it. And so you should understand. Sarah is someone I speak to in the park in person. I hear time and time again video where he tell people that he prayed to his dead ancestor.
Oh my! Stop saying that. Why are you lying?
So he can't. So listen now, yeah. He can't lie past me and pull a fast one because he come to speakers can as a person. I've been there as well in person.
No,
yes?
you have to stop lying though.
So we're not making up. We keep it real. We're not making up nothing. Yeah.
Okay. So right now, hold on before we go any further. Hold on before we go any further. Let me just moderate. So right now, Sarah is saying to you, he doesn't. And if he says that, he said that.
No, but listen.
Listen.
Sorry.
I want to get to the point, though, Rich. Let me get to my point.
Yeah, hold on.
I ignore the lies.
I didn't even.
Let me just say in my defense.
I'm still.
Okay, come on. Let Sarah just say in his defense and then go ahead.
But you cut me off, Rich. No,
I'm not cutting off anyone. Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Listen, stop lying.
The guy speak for
I've
3-4 minutes a while ago,
never
Rich. The guy speak
in
for
my
3-4
life,
minutes a while ago. And you stop me,
in
I'm
my
abide
life
by
told
it.
you that I
I
pray
don't
to
speak for
God.
2
You
minutes
know what?
straight.
Kalam didn't put me in charge for no one. I'm just trying to get some decorum so people on the chat room can hear what you lot are talking about. So it's not
Stop
about
lying.
me.
Yeah, but
So hold on a minute.
Rich.
Okay, go on, comment. Sarah, let him speak.
Nah,
Yeah,
yo,
go on, comment.
Sarah, what can I say? One thing. Can I say one thing?
You have to stop lying, man.
Just a little. Nah, you know what it is, Sarah. Yeah.
You have to stop
Like,
lying. Seriously, you got to
you know
stop
what
lying.
it is. Okay, then fair enough, innit? Fair enough. Even if you use the wrong word as prayer, then
No,
let's
no,
call
no,
it
because
communicate.
praying.
No, wait there. Nah, forget that then. Use meditate or whatever it is you do to communicate with
so my
them.
communication
Yeah.
is
But
it's my
that's all he's
personal
talking about. He's just talking about prayer, like the way of communication.
No.
Well,
no,
all right.
it's not.
Man, fam,
Listen. By prayer, it's just meaning the way you communicate with them, and it. So like whatever it is, meditate. I don't know, libation.
Yeah, meditation is different from prayer.
Listen, man.
Well, okay then, but that's all he's talking about. So
No,
that's not.
It's different. That's different, Ezra.
No, he's trying to control a narrative.
Yo, fam, just say meditate. Just say meditation.
Yeah, just say meditate and then move on, Quarry.
He's trying to.
You know what?
Hang on.
You know what happened?
The reason.
Guys,
sorry,
guys. I need
to speak for myself.
And I'm gonna get the youth.
Okay, gents, we're not hearing no one. Please, both of you are big man. Hold on a minute.
I need to speak for myself.
Okay, Sarah, just take a minute to speak against the claim.
I need to speak for myself to control my own narrative. I'm not going to allow someone to control my narrative. It's just not going to happen. Hang on, listen.
Kwame, hold on. He's just explaining that you said, hold on, Kwame. He just explained that you said prayer. He's just going to explain it, and then you could, hold on.
Oh my God. Rich. The man could have explained when I finished the 3 or 4 minute explanation like what he did before.
I'm not going to lie to allow me.
Yeah, but when you start by saying praying, and there's a difference between praying and meditation, I can understand.
You can't be partial, Rich.
Where's Buddha? Does anyone know where Buddha is? Where's Buddha? Kalam, are you there? Because it's just madness.
The problem here is that
it's madness when you're not being fair with what you're doing.
Can I stop Sarah from talking?
All right, I'll stop. Let him speak.
Speak, Kwame.
Yes. Just let me finish my point. I'm not even going to
take this. His name's Kwame. That's Ghanaian. What are you doing with a Muslim? What are you doing being a Muslim, Kwame?
You see what I'm saying, Rich? It's what, Rich? Man, I get personal. We can get personal, you know.
No, he's just running that joke. He's running that joke. Was that a joke?
Kwame,
that was a joke.
Kwame, talk. Just talk now.
Talk, Kwame. Come on. He's not being personal. Come on.
Don't get personal because you don't know me. Can get personal too. Listen. The same thing I'm just saying, yeah? Me not see no different in it. I'm going to pick up from what Ezra said. Hear my point. I'll give a full holistic context. You communicating to your dead ancestor. Me know what communication mean. Don't because I speak patois, me understand English very well. You understand? Me did well on the paper in English at school in this country. Yes? So the man I communicate with the dead ancestors, we are communicating with Allah. It's two spiritual communication. Yes? But the dead ancestors never send back no comprehensive information. Come give them like we have a comprehensive information that we have today, empirically. We can go and we can show you those manuscripts. Yes? So I'm saying, okay, then I'm not asking you to the validity and get into the detail of the Quran that we have, but I'm saying you two are doing the same thing. But the Muslims have something extra, they have something else to show. On top of it, I'm saying, how come you are going to speak against what them do, and you do the same thing, but you even have lesser supporting evidence to back you than what the Muslim have. You understand?
Okay.
So what he did now, he cherry pick and just talk about book alone, and he missed to understand, to answer me about holistic, like the full context what I give.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let him respond now. Let him respond now.
Guys. All right, let me say something.
Hold on. One at a time. Ricky, say something and then Sarah, you can come in.
To my Jamaican brother. All right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Quran has something extra. We're talking about a religion which is 1,500 years old, at best. In reality, 1,500 years old.
At best.
You, my brother, named Kwame, which means born on Saturday. You're from the same island as my daddy. All right? You, my brother, are a Ghanaian. You, my brother, should be practicing what I practice. And I'll tell you why. All right? Your ancestors and my ancestors, we're probably even cousins, me and you. All right? Here's the thing. We left a body of work, but we did not write it. It's oral, and it is called the Odu Ifa. and it's practical in our lives. If you understood the traditions in which you come from, your origin, you're Jamaican today, but you're not Jamaican 500 years ago.
That's
all right,
correct.
You're Ghanaian or best West African combination. All the West African traditions have the same root. That each tribe has a similar religion, but the roots are the same. It's you included. So,
Alvin, mute your mic. Alvin, hold on.
If my brother went back to Ghana or to a what we call a babalawo, which is the equivalent of a priest in modern language.
That's right.
You can go to a priest or a unkanfo in your language, unkanfo, because you're a Ghanaian. That's what you are. All right? And you go to one of these people, they would consult Ifa and an Odu, which is basically like a surah from the Quran, which has already been written down in the mind. You go to 50 different babalawos and they will repeat the same Odu Ifa when you go to have a reading, and they write it down in different symbols in our traditions. These are our traditions, my brother. Our tradition is at least 9,000 years unbroken. Ifa, depending on who you speak to, can be up to 23,000 years unbroken. It's actually the oldest religion on the planet, actually unbroken. Research it. Don't shake your head, my brother. It's your tradition. It's your tradition. You're not an Arabian.
Hold on, I'm gonna let Sarah. Hold on. I'm gonna let Sarah respond to the claim. Hold on. If you want me to get order, let me get order.
Yeah, let me.
You responded to Sarah. It's only fair that Sarah respond back to your claim.
Okay, so I respond like this is Jamaican, brother. My parents are also from the island of Jamaica, and if both of he's Jamaican, I'm Jamaican. If I said to him he eats jerk rice, he's gonna tell me, no, not jerk rice. No such thing as jerk rice. So when he tells me that I'm praying to my ancestors, I'm gonna tell him the same thing. No. It's not like that. So he understands from his culture and from his personal experience, there's no such thing as no jerk rice, regardless of what Jamie Oliver says. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, there's no such thing as praying. I don't pray to my ancestors. I'm going to tell you that categorically. If I have a personal communication with them, okay, that is not praying. The problem that Abrahamic religions have, they can only view the world via their lens. And anyone that does any kind of quote unquote ritual or spiritual celebration, etc., must be the way in which they do it. And it's not the same. It's actually not the same. So I have my own personal experience, and I've contended and I've conceded. I cannot prove it objectively, and I'm not trying to prove it objectively, and I'm trying to make everybody follow it. I am 100% having a personal experience. What people seem to have a problem with is that a man having a personal experience, okay, is an issue. And I've noticed that amongst Abrahamic religious followers, like a man, i.e. me.
Atheists don't like that either, Salvo.
Huh? Sorry again?
Atheists don't like that either. Atheists.
That's fine. And you know what? That's fine.
So it's not an Abrahamic specific thing.
But the thing is though, I can have a conversation with an Abrahamic person, and I've said to you before, they can call me crazy, and I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm crazy. But you know what they won't do? They won't tell me you're going to hell. It's the shaitan. It's the hang on. They won't condemn me, tell me I'm going to hell. It's the shaitan. It's the iblis. It's the devil. It's all these kind of things. So hang on. Let me finish, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a difference in the language, okay, with the atheist and with listen, I'm gonna tell you 100%. I generally don't have a problem with atheists. We may disagree on some things, but I can be friends with atheists. We can be cool. I can't be friends with religious people who follow Abraham religions because they seem to want to condemn me and bring me to their quote unquote side. I can't do that shit, bro.
I think you're grossly generalizing Abrahamic faiths. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It's like when you say things like, you know, you're automatically thinking I'm going to hell. Even if you look at go look at the old debates from the early church fathers. Go look at Athanasius and Justin Martyr. The rhetoric is not the rhetoric that you see 2,000 years later. You sound like you're referring to people of the fundamentalist movement that sprung up in the early 20th century, where everything's hyperliteral, you know, nothing is metaphor, and if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell. It was far more nuanced in the earlier parts of the religion. So what I'm saying is there's far more nuance within Abrahamic religions than your gross generalization of it. So when you do talk about the Abrahamic perspective, it's not too much different from other people. You have a deity, you have sacrifice.
I don't have a deity.
You know, no, I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about in most religions, okay?
Okay.
They have a deity. There's a deity in most religions, okay? Not all of them, but most, okay? This deity in one form or another requires some kind of sacrifice. That it might not be physical sacrifice with animals, but it might be sacrifice to time, devotion to him. There might be a ritual or something that he demands, right? Or she, or whatever kind of deity it is. So this is not an Abrahamic thing. This just is a religious thing.
It's a human thing. Would you say it's a human thing?
Yeah, that's a human thing. So when you talk about your thing, I don't have a problem with you talking to your, I mean, I'll say meditating to your ancestors, okay?
Right.
It's not an issue for me per se. I don't do it. But if you're doing it, fine.
No, but is it fine though, Alvin?
I mean, yes. I mean, listen. Now,
No, hang on. According to your scripture, is that fine?
It is wrong for
so it's not fine.
Hold on, wait, no, hold on. I'm gonna tell you what the scripture. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm gonna give you the perfect example.
Child's play.
I'm gonna give you the perfect example. If I did that, it would be a problem, right? Because I'm a Jew. If a non-Jew did it, it gets a little more nuanced. Because guess what? King Cyrus lived and died as a pagan. He worshipped Marduk. He was dealing with Ahura Mazda. He dealt in all the mystery stuff, right? But God called him a Messiah. He called him a Christ. You know why? Because he did something nice for the Jews and let them go. So this thing of you have to do everything the Jews do or else you're not righteous, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, because there's several examples of people that didn't follow any of the Torah that were from other nations that were viewed as being righteous in the text.
So do you know what I just realized? Do you know what I just realized? And not just, but do you know what I realized here? That it's very easy for you to lie. It's very easy for people in Abraham religions to actually lie. I tell you why. Because you are sitting on this call telling me, oh yeah, Sarah, it's fine what you do. Then when I get to the root of your quote unquote religion, and I say, is it actually fine? You tell me, no, it's wrong. Okay.
No.
So hang on. No, I'm not finished. Let me
hang on, Alvin. Hang on.
Let me finish.
He ignored everything else.
Let me finish. This is why generally I don't deal with individuals. Hang on, let me finish, bro.
Ignored everything else.
Let me finish. Seriously, let me finish. This is why generally I don't deal with individuals, because individuals will tell me any goddamn thing they want to tell me. I go for the ideology. I go for the actual scripture. Hang on, let me finish, bro.
Let me finish. What you're doing to me, what you just played.
Let me finish. No, seriously, let me finish though.
You're doing
guys, let me jump in now. Let me jump in for a second.
Let me finish.
Listen here. Listen.
This is why.
Let me jump in for a second.
Hold on, everyone mute their mouth.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Where's Kalam?
So let me finish.
Guys, let me jump in for a second.
All of you lot's mic.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, and this is why generally I go for the ideology. Oh my God!
Hold on, I can't
finish, bro. I'm letting the
just give Sarah 30 seconds. Go
Give
ahead,
me
Sarah.
30 seconds.
Go ahead.
I can't do this.
Hang on. This is why. My Jamaican friend, Charlie. So this is why I generally go for the ideology and not the people, because I can have a conversation with 1,000 people and they will tell me 1,000 different things, because people interpret their quote unquote scriptures and their quote unquote ideology different. I go for the actual teachings and I go for the actual writings and I go for what is taught within the ideology, because that is what I quote unquote critique. individuals, I've noticed, will tell you any simple thing about their religion and attempt to divert from their ideology, just like you just diverted from your ideology.
Oh
Saying,
my
oh no,
God.
Sarah, it's fine. However, when you go to your ideology, it's actually not fine.
Okay,
It's not
So that's
fine.
why I will go to your ideology.
Okay,
Sarah,
Kwame,
Yo,
hold on, Alvin, hold on.
please let me address that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh
Why
my
is it the
God.
same people talking? There are 3 other people that
Okay,
work
yeah,
and
thank
say
you.
the
I
same.
can't even. But that's you know how much people are on the panel.
Stacks, you wanted to say something. Please say something. You were trying to get in.
Please, because it's like everybody wants to say something. Stacks, go ahead and say something.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, I just want to address Sarah, man. Yo, I just want to tell you the truth in it. What you believe in, what you hold, like this ancestor thing in it, in Islam is totally wrong. This is paganism. I'm gonna tell you straight away. This is paganism. What you do, it doesn't even go with the intellect. When we want to analyze what you believe in, you're always on the back foot. You're always trying to criticize other people's ideologies. But when we do the same thing to you, there's nothing there to criticize. It's just that I pray to my ancestors, this, that, and when we try to analyze what you actually do, you can't do nothing about it. And when you come to our book, you criticize our prophet every day.
Again.
Listen, let me finish, man. Yo, let me finish it. I've been quiet for 2 hours. I've been hearing your bullshit for 2 hours, and I can't take it. So every video I see you, you're always attacking Islam. You're always attacking our ideology. When we try to do the same thing, you say no. I just believe in it. I just believe in it. Get back, man. Just tell us what you believe in. I want to know right now, so I can criticize what you believe in front of everyone now. Go on.
Sarah, say nothing. Right, listen.
I have to
Wait.
Richie. You can't speak 2 times before me now, Richie.
Kalam, if you're there, I beg you just take over.
Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
Yo, I was not even addressing you, you know that. I was addressing Sarah.
No, listen, Ricky speak already and must speak again. You see now the pastor become known. I'm a friend. My friend thing now run.
I've just said to the brother who just spoke. All I'm gonna say is
not the bias, brother. Not be biased. Me not lie.
I'm not saying nothing biased. I'm not answering 30 seconds, bro. 30 seconds. That's it.
I'm there. You said something all along. You said something personal to me. I'm waiting to respond to your personal thing when you said to me a while ago.
You know.
He just Ricky, you said something personal to me a while ago.
I have to.
Can I say something? Ask the question, bro. The brother just asked the question.
Can I say something?
He left.
Can I say something, bro?
Go for it.
Can I say something? See, all right. Let me see what I go on now.
He just got kicked out.
And Kalam, I'm speaking. Yeah, some days, yeah, man want the thing balance. Yeah, when man pull up and say, okay, then don't interject when a man speak. Then me shut off and me follow it, and me make Sarah finish till him finish till him end. But when we see on the other hand now, when Sarah bottom finish his point, Rich to come in and say Sarah wallet. Yes. No, you when someone says something personal and Sarah respond personal, he let me respond personal, because when a person make a personal thing, they like when you come in and say, you the Jamaican brother, may I talk to you? Yes. Then it only fair that's common sense, because he make a personal tag, that's all. Give the person to respond personal to him. You understand what I'm saying? No, since it's my time to speak, I hear a couple things that I couldn't do because other people were speaking and I was waiting patiently. Rich Sarah says, we don't say to nobody, say, you should be doing this or you're going to hell. We just have a clear example. I believe Ricky and Sarah is on the same spiritual system. Ricky just said to me directly, you should be doing our thing. Direct. That's a direct statement. And the way he said to me, say, boy, I'm sound like a dictator. Like me should doing this. Never free will, brother. Me do what I want to do. That's one point. Now, Sarah make a general statement, say, that's why Sarah saying can't be friend with Abrahamic faith religion people. We now make a general statement now. Can me answer? Maybe pertinent to me answer. Me answer. Me not straight from point. Me deal with question and me deal with them. Well, generally speaking now, we Jamaican, you should know. I'm speaking generally, so nobody not take it personal. And even if I was a Muslim, I cannot be friend with no one that do gay activity. You know, sir, you know that. You know we Jamaican stay. You know. Yeah, most of us. That make that very clear. So me deal with the point now. So and secondly now, I'm saying secondly now, the thing when people from Ezra said, I'm deal with that point there. Man I respond emotional and get tantrum, but no man never deal with the point. They can't answer it. Every man are ready and I digress. And I straight. Me not straight, brother. Me straight like Pansy. Me straight. Some sexuality straight, and some straight too. Me pertinent. Me answer what a man put forward. Me deal with the point and subject. So my point is simple. I'm gonna say it and finish. Less than a minute now. in a minute. You are doing spiritual communication. We are doing spiritual communication. We claim we have a comprehensive information, a comprehensive information from the spiritual world. So you must claim, did you don't have no comprehensive information from your dead ancestors, not when them alive. They never given up when them dead, because they can't give up when them dead. So why do you communicate to them and beg them for things? And you can't hear them can't hear you. But me clear, even though it's subjective, me show, me beg Allah for things. Everything me beg for, me show, me get it. It's called the physical. It's one of the evidence in Islamic jurisprudence for the existence of Allah. It's called al-ist, the physical sense. Even my children realizes, now the card them says, I realize that Allah really exists, because when I pray to him, we get things that we ask for. And I was shocked when they say it. I never teach them it enough. I
But you
was
know what
shocked
it
when
is,
they
brother?
say it. Thank you.
Yo, fam. Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you
yes,
still,
fam.
but you know what it is, fam.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I've wanted to speak to you for a minute still, you know, and like, I just feel like you need to worry about the God of your forefathers, fam. Like, this thing ain't for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, not everyone's gonna agree with me, obviously, innit? But what I'm saying is your ancestors have their own God. Yeah.
Okay, but
When
can
we're
I
saying
answer back
the
what
fathers
Insight
of,
says though?
And I have to address what Sarah.
Hold on. Let Ezra finish.
Hang on. Because what the guy said before the Jamaican brother came in said, yeah, he said he's been listening to me for 2 hours. That's what he said specifically. And then he proceeded to tell me, hang on, he said, you can rewind the video. You can rewind. And he said, I pray to my ancestors. Now listen, after listening to me for 2 hours, hang on, I'm not even finished. After listening to me for 2 hours, if your conclusion is still that I pray to my ancestors, bro, me don't know where I listen to. Me don't know what kind of thing I listen to from me.
I know
Because
from
me
the
tell
part,
you
brother. That's why you said the
about
part
100
directly.
times.
Yeah, I heard you saying that in a video in the car.
Me not pray to no
I'm gonna get the
ancestor, my
YouTube video.
youth.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
get the
get the
video.
YouTube video and share me, brother.
Yeah, let's get the
I'll
video.
get the YouTube. I get the YouTube video and show you the liar. Get the YouTube video and show
He
you.
actually said he gives food to his ancestors as well. So
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't let Sarah slide what he just did to me a couple of minutes.
yeah, trust me, go on.
I cannot let him slide. So Sarah, we talked about the ideology. Who was the Torah given to? Was it given to all nations, or was it just given to the children of Israel?
The Israelite.
Okay,
as far
it
as
was
I
given,
know.
okay,
Hang
so
on.
it was given to the children of Israel.
Hang on.
So,
As far as I know, it was
yeah,
given to the children of
based
Israel.
off the literature, you said the ideology. You're not interested in people. You're interested in
It
ideology.
was given to the children of Israel.
Okay,
I agree.
so therefore, a Israelite is not supposed to talk to dead people. That is something specifically for them. So you, a non-Israelite, it wouldn't be a problem because the God of the Israelites didn't make a contract with you.
However,
so if you're doing
I agree
that
with you.
ideologically, and then I gave you the example.
Yeah, but
Alvin,
Alvin, we can reverence our ancestors, though. We can reverence. Every time we say the God of our ancestors, the God of our forefathers.
Right. I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
But Alvin, I agree with you. But you claim the God of the Israelites. Remember, it's specific now. Yeah, the God of the Israelites is the God of the whole world. Yes or no?
And only made a contract with one group of people.
Charlie, that's where you lose me now. You lose me now
I'm
because
talking
you are
about the
talking nonsense.
We have to deal with the literature. You don't have to believe
nonsense,
the literature,
bro.
Listen, hold on.
Nonsense. It's nonsense.
Sarah,
It's nonsense.
we have to deal with this.
No.
Hold on.
It's
You
Alvin.
How's that nonsense, though?
Alvin. Don't tell me that your God only. Listen. Don't tell me that your. I will go back to my previous statement.
I didn't say
a few
that.
hours ago. Hang on, Alvin. You're telling me that your God only chose the Israelites, yeah, to be his people. However, he created all people on the globe. Okay, so what? So hang on. So what you're telling me is your God has favorites, yeah?
You didn't hear what I said. He made a
absolutely.
He made a. You know what a covenant is? He made a covenant, a contract.
Agreement.
So listen,
Agreement,
Sarah, listen. You want the ideology, you don't want people. I'm giving you the ideology. He made a covenant with a specific group of people.
With his favorites, with the apple of his eye.
Hold on. Listen. But a covenant doesn't mean an Israelite is better than this person or an Israelite is better than that person.
Lie.
That's a lie.
Lie.
Alvin.
Look, let me get this out because this is the ideology. Okay.
Lie.
Okay. Who did he call? Why did he call the Egyptians? Okay, hold on, wait. Listen. He made a contract. Okay. Now, if you show,
I beg you tell your Israelite brother that
I
he's lying.
say 2 words and then I get cut off. I say 2 words and then I
just say what you're saying and then just stop. Make one point.
Make one point. 20 seconds.
Keep making more points, fam.
I only need 20 seconds. This is the only 20 seconds I need. Okay. So he made a contract with the Israelites, and I will challenge you to say the Israelites are better than everybody else in the world.
He also made a contract with the Muslims as well, didn't he?
Wait there.
That's
I'm gonna do that. Wait there. I'm gonna do that now because in Deuteronomy 7:6 it teaches us here that the God chose us above all people on the face of the earth, not because we was bigger or mightier than in numbers than the other nations. Yeah, but because he loved us and would uphold the promise he made to our forefathers.
But Ezra, don't the Muslims say the same thing?
Right. No, they don't.
So hang on,
they can't say that.
Ezra.
You know why?
They do. They say the same shit.
Let me explain.
Ezra, are you saying that God has favorites here?
Yes. Separate.
Thank you very much, Ezra.
Listen, holy. Listen, the word holy. When it says, wait there, Alvin, man. When it says Israel is a holy nation, that means it's separate from everyone else. Yeah.
Yes.
God tells you in Isaiah that the rest of the nations are like the dust on a scale. Understand?
But hold on there. Hold on a minute. Sarah, in the Quran, does it not say that the Muslims were created the best of men or something?
It says Muslims are created the best. That's Quran 3 verse 110.
But that's a religion. That's not a bloodline. That's a religion.
Okay, we just sidestepped.
We're not dealing with religion.
Sarah accused me of lying.
You've just had your time to talk to him, man, and I'm
trying to. It's diverted from what.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm talking to him now, and let me just respond to him, fam. I just gave you your time. I'm not interrupting you. Fam.
Poisoned.
So all I'm saying is, he chose Israel above all nations because of our forefathers and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when it comes to Islam now, that's a religion. That's not a bloodline. It's not a nation. It's just a religion.
Right.
Like anyone can join that. Like it's two different things.
So you're saying, what you're saying, Ezra, is that on this earth right now, there's a people that are better than another people, and that's the Israelites.
Listen, there's a people. Listen, let me show you something. There's a people on this earth that run fast.
Dude, they call themselves chosen people for God's sake. That says it right there. Chosen people for God's sake.
When I respond to him, fam, he just asked me a question, man. What's wrong with you? So what I'm saying is, there's a people on this earth that run faster than everyone else, Sarah. There's a people on the earth that are stronger than everyone else. Yeah, better than everyone else in everything. You understand?
So that means they're superior then?
Huh?
That means they're superior.
Exactly.
This is outrageous. So Sarah,
but you know what it is? Sarah, listen, Sarah will admit this, but they'll put that down to nature. Yeah. The Bible tells us the Most High separated us and did that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hold on. Let me witness. Do you want to say something?
Yes. I was going to jump in. Thanks. I just wanted to say the God of Abraham does believe the Israelites are special. Because in the book of Revelations 21:12 it says, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Now that is a description of heaven, and only 12 people from 12 tribes will be able to enter the heaven through those gates, and they're all Israelites, nobody else.
So how are the Muslims going to get to Jannah?
This is why I hate. This is why I tried to stop it, because it went into something else. It went from me saying it's okay for Sarah to talk to his ancestor to now the superiority of the Israelites. Like that's why.
Hold on.
So what I'm telling you,
that was Ezra. That was Ezra.
I was trying to talk.
Oh my God, Ezra, please. Ezra, talk to your brother, please.
Yeah, but I was trying to keep it focused.
I was trying to talk to the Muslim brother. Wait there, Alvin. I was having a conversation with I was having a conversation with the Muslim brother, and I was trying to teach him about his ancestors and the God of his ancestors, and that's where how it started.
I know, but I'm talking about with Sarah, because he accused me of making stuff up when I said, "Oh, if he does that, it's okay." What I'm telling him is that he was never put under a contract that says not to do that. So if he does that, then ideological wise, there's no specific issue at face value. That's what I said.
You know what it is?
So
Sarah's the same people as me.
So hang on.
What I'm saying is,
Do you remember about an hour ago I was talking about human beings creating God? So now God's got contracts. God's got contracts. Because we know human beings make contracts. But you're telling me the most divine entity to ever exist has now got a contract.
Yeah, because he knows we understand contracts. That's something humans get. If you do this, this is what happens. If you do that, that's what happened. So he's like, okay.
So who is he got a contract with now?
He's had a contract with the children of Israel. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, and the children of Israel are better than everybody else?
No, they are chosen. They are special, right?
Hang on. Ezra said yes.
They are above all nations.
But I don't know. It's better. It's almost like, is the president of the United States better than everybody else?
Fam, this is Israelite Takia. I'm telling you.
Job, but I'm not saying.
Wait, Alvin, you got Alvin, you're doing that Hebrew Takia thing. You're doing that Hebrew Takia, blood.
No, I am not.
You're doing Hebrew Takia, bro.
Tell him again, dog. Yo, it says Israel is above all nations on the face of the earth. What that mean?
It means that they are chosen to do a particular task. But if you look in the Bible, name a group of people that hasn't been more cursed than the Israelites. I can actually make the argument that Yahweh
the reason why we're cursed, Alvin,
more than anybody else on the planet.
The reason why we're cursed is because we was chosen to be a special nation, and we're not fulfilling it. We're breaking that covenant.
It's a burden.
So that's why we get punished.
A burden.
Okay, hold on there a minute.
Alvin,
go on, Ezra.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is the reason why, we're going through these punishments time and time after again. The reason why we're in this state we are in right now is because our forefathers were given a covenant to uphold, and they didn't do it. Now we're not doing it now.
Ezra, here's the thing. Ezra, I hear you. Yeah. Do you think supremacy is a good or a bad thing? Because it sounds like you're a supremacist. So you think supremacy is good or a bad thing?
Sarah, you're the one who's standing in the park saying, "I'm your daddy" and all this. So what does that mean?
No, but there's context to that, though. There's context to that.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is the same thing. It's us.
No, listen, Ezra. I don't think I'm better than anyone, though. But what I'm asking you is, do you think supremacy is a good or a bad thing, bro?
Yeah. So listen. Call it what you want, innit? Yeah. If the Most High says that one nation, listen.
Ezra,
you know what, Sarah?
You
know what it is? All right,
look.
Listen, there's no takia, fam. Listen, like when it comes to 100-meter sprinting, when you check the top 50 people,
Ezra,
they're all gonna be black.
Listen.
Let me finish, fam. I'm saying it with my chest, nigga.
Get him, Ezra. Get him, Ezra.
Say it with your chest, nigga.
Get him, Ezra.
I'm just saying that like we are a special people, fam. Whether you blame nature for that, or whether you understand that it's the Most High that did that, we are a special people, fam. We're better than other people. Like, look, one mixed race guy in the Formula 1 is the best ever. 2 black girls in tennis, they're the best ever. Understand? Like, whatever we do, whatever we join, we do it the best.
So you're saying that you're God. You're saying that
people.
Yeah, okay, that's Israelites.
Go on,
that's
not
all black people.
That's not Hebrews, bro.
Not all black people.
There's not a Hebrew here. All I see is West Africans here. That's all I see.
Listen, you're not Kemet. So stop your noise.
No,
let's go there.
If you even listen,
Caribbean in a belief system you can't even prove.
M-Stacks, you want to say something? Or Mohammed? Because one of you haven't spoken for a while. M-Stacks or Mohammed?
Does chosen mean better?
Hold on there, Alvin. Let me just get everyone to come in.
Well,
go on, M-Stacks.
According to the Most High, I mean, this is what I find funny, because if we go into the Hebrew scriptures, right, we'll find that this is what it said. The Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt. Yeah, that's what it says in the scriptures. And then it says, after the Hebrews came out of Egypt, they actually had their own slaves, right? They had people that they enslaved. So to me, supremacy is supremacy. When you think you're better than other people, yeah, you may treat them a certain way. And what I find interesting, just for me, just on a basic anthropological level, is that people that complain about supremacy, yeah, actually want to implement their own form of supremacy, but then complain that supremacy is implemented upon them. And I'm saying, listen, I don't think I'm supreme to anybody. The factual data states that yes, Africans are the beginning of all human civilization, but I don't say I'm supreme because of that. I say respect should be given because the origin of who everybody else is me. I'm not asking for you to worship me. I'm not saying that I'm better than you, but I'm saying, listen, you better fucking respect where you
Your
come
daddy.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Listen,
so,
hang on. I'm not finished. You should respect where you come from because, you know, I am the origin. But you people, you Abraham religious people, you guys have got a supremacist ideology that runs through your veins, man.
I got you. So Sarah.
So Sarah, that's why you said in the part that I'm your daddy. That's why you made that
Yo,
comment.
let me jump in for a second.
Hold on there. Where's Sarah? Sarah there?
All right, family.
Okay, thank God, Kalam's.
Just to let you guys know, I'm muting everybody's mic. Just to let you guys know, we got like 10 more minutes left, okay? It's past 12. I ain't trying to go to my bed too late this night. So we're going to have 10 more minutes, okay? 10 more minutes. We're going to be closing down at 20 minutes too. I may close down or shut down the laptop and in the next 5 minutes, and that lets you know when you see my icon jump out, you've got less than 5 minutes left. All right, let's do this, baby. Let's do this. Let me just double check on my what is on this? Tag up some Titans TV if you're up in the building with me. Let me know what you guys are actually saying. Any feedback, any love, let me know who's really be holding down the panel tonight. All right, just tag Titans TV and put the name who you think's been holding it down the most. All right, family, let me get back into this. I'm gonna mute my mic and you guys take over.
Yo, quick comment.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into chaos, let witness talk. Let witness talk, and then M stack. Witness and then M stack. Hold on. Witness and then M stack. Yeah, go on, witness.
So thanks. I'm just going to throw a spanner in the works here. I mean, I'm the complete outsider on this panel. I don't follow any belief or spiritual system. And I'm just fascinated that I'm listening to Hebrew Israelites, Muslims, Kemetic people, all arguing over a belief system that they follow. And none of y'all can even prove that this belief system actually works or exists. I just find it fascinating and completely bewildering. Maybe you're all delusional, or maybe you all have some form of truth. I don't know, but from what I've heard for the last 30 minutes, I ain't convinced by any.
Kwame, hold on, Kwame. Let him. Hold on, let him finish.
The inability for a person to let another person.
Hold on, and let me just say,
witness finish. Sorry, Kalam, go on.
Person to let another person talk does not mean we're delusional.
Y'all all delusional, including me. All right, delusions of grandeur. Let's continue the conversation. And I want some order up in here, okay? Because I know Kane wants to get in, M Stacks want to get in, so I'm going to go with the order that Rich Kid put
people
down.
talk.
I'm going to go with M Stacks, then afterwards I'm going to get Kane to open his mic, and then Mohammed, Musa, you're next. All right.
Yo, Banga. Can you hear me, guys? My headphone. Yo, Banga, I was trying to say, even in the Quran, it says, the children of Israel are the chosen people. And say, children of Israel, remember my favor, which I have bestowed upon you, and fulfill my covenant upon you, that I will fulfill your covenant from me and be afraid of only me. So when we as Muslims also say the Israelites are the chosen people, it doesn't necessitate that God has favored this, because in the Quran, when you contextualize it, it actually says God does not favor one over the other, but the covenant was given to the chosen people. So we have to accept that fact. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's get Karnain on now.
Yeah. I was listening a bit, but I was listening too much because things wasn't like direct to me, like direct. And I think sometimes even when Rich have a question, you have an Islamic question about Islam and he asks Sarah, which Sarah is not a Muslim. And I mean, like Muslim is on the panel. I don't understand why he didn't ask a Muslim. So that's one point. The next thing now, Sarah says that he don't talk about superiority. I'm in the park. The debate that me and Sarah have, only one debate, only two debate, because you have another one happen later on. The first debate with Titan and Kalam was the one. Kalam would be a witness to this. Sarah said to me regarding knowledge, based on my skin color. So you don't know the capacity of my knowledge yet, not the white man capacity. Because I'm telling you right now, you have some white man who's more educated than me in certain things. Yes? Me say, these people, yeah, are your children. You are their daddy. And he didn't stop there. And then he elaborate what is he talking about. He said you should be telling them. So regarding knowledge now, he said you should be telling them. Yes. So you can't just look at two different races of people. Don't question them. Don't know the knowledge capacity. And then says, okay, then no, because you're black, you must superior based on knowledge.
Nope.
Well, you
no
don't
one spoke about
investigate.
superiority, mate.
No. Wait. You don't investigate them. You don't know the scale of the knowledge, and then you have this, and then this double standard now turn around now says another time that Jamaican guy is stupid, is foolish. They put comment like that after. I see the comment after.
Yeah,
so
you are.
that's an oxymoron move.
I would say that you are
No,
stupid
no,
and foolish.
no.
I would agree with that.
No, but I'm saying you speaking to me personally, and I understand what superiority mean. To me,
do you?
That was a superiority is when you promote superiority based on your epidermis, your outer skin color. You just saying I'm super in something, but you don't have the evidence to prove that you're actually super than the person.
No.
Because sometimes when we do an experiment, we see that actually maybe the person may be super at the edge over you in that matter. There wasn't no experiment done before, but he's alluding that male because I am black. These white people, they are my children. I'm their daddy. Generalizing.
That's
should be. He said to me. No, listen. He said to me, I should be telling them regarding in the sphere of knowledge he's talking about. Yes,
that is correct.
No, but so my self confession as a black person. Now I'm saying to you, you got many white people know things that I don't know. That's not arrogance. That's just plain fact.
Right.
Yes,
but
and at the same time,
we were talking about a religious context. We were talking about a religious context.
No, Sarah, let me finish my point. Don't get cold feet. Let me finish my point.
Yeah,
the same time Sarah said that to my face. I know I observe him carefully. What me and him having a discussion, and he keep quoting white sources. Only white man sources he quote. And I'm like, this is what a hypocrite move.
What sources did I quote to you? What white sources?
We was talking about Adam and this thing, and you was quoting about first man found. You were quoting some archaeologist reference.
I was quoting that.
Adam. Correct me about the wording, because he very well spoken more than me. I would say that. Epistemology or something like that. All these things he was quoting.
Etymology.
And Wikipedia source. Wikipedia is Julian Assange. That's a white man. Am I stupid? He keep quoting white man sources.
Hang on. Let me clarify this, because it seems a little bit.
Brother, use a contradiction. Use a contradiction, man.
Let me clarify
this. You're a living oxymoron.
Okay, hold on. Is it a question? Let him answer, because we're just getting into
let me clarify this. My stance is, a people that came after you. Now, you are the original man and woman on the planet. Okay, the first man and woman on the planet, according to all sources that are objective. Okay, you are now allowing a system, Islam, Abrahamic, Judaism, a system made by non-black people, by not the source, to tell you as the quote-unquote source where you came from. And I'm saying to you, it doesn't make sense to allow a people or an ideology or a system that comes 100,000 years after you actually existed on this planet to tell you where you came from. And that is just basic logic. A child, okay, hang on. A mother and a father will not allow the child to tell them where they came from, because the mother and father are closer in knowledge as to where they came from. This has nothing to do with superiority. This is basic logic, my friend. My mum and my dad. Hang on. My mum and my dad know where I came from more so than where I did. Okay, because I know I came from them. They know I came from their parents, so they can tell me the origin of where I came from more so than I can tell them where I came from. It's the same thing. You are allowing a people and an ideology that came so far after you as a Jamaican, as a black man, to tell you as a black man who was the original man on the planet where you came from. It doesn't make any sense logically. That's absolutely nothing to do with superiority.
Please, 1 minute. Can I respond? Because you do me specifically. Can I please, my brother? Alvin, I beg you 1 minute, please.
But you're gonna see this is gonna go back and forth though, and no one else is.
No, because Rich, you asked me specifically, Rich. So it's 1 minute. I just see the point that you put forward.
I'll give you 1 minute.
First of all, the point I just put forward, he speaks to me specifically and he promote black supremacist superiority. Said that I have generalization, that I have knowledge over all white person is indicating, and I should be telling them. That's nonsense for a while. I don't agree with that nonsense. And Cameron, so white supporters not gonna agree with them on this point either. Even though they agree with him in bashing Islam. But anyway, leave the point out now. He's talking about people telling me. Kalam have a whole video where Kalam is proving that Prophet Muhammad is black. He descended from Ishmael. Ishmael was the son of Ajar, a Kemet black woman.
Yeah, we're talking about mythology.
So wait, no, Sarah. The people who
that's all
mythology,
about
Islam now. No, listen, me brother. Cause you get in school left, right, and center now. You get in school, brother, left, right, and center. So if Prophet is a black man, listen, brother. Ishmael is a black man. Ajar, Kemet woman, is a black man. Idris, the prophet of Islam, is a black man.
So is the prophet black?
This is mythology.
Hold on there, Sarah. Is the prophet black?
Wait.
No, just a quick question. Is the prophet black? Is the prophet black?
No, I'm saying. Listen, what I said to you.
No, I'm just asking you from what you said. Is the prophet black? Yes or no?
We don't know.
Don't try to help
No,
him.
hold on. I'm just asking you. I'm asking you because you said that they were all black. Is the prophet black?
Listen what I said to you. I said Kalam have a whole complete video where he's giving evidence. Kalam is there asking me if I'm lying.
Yeah, but you're quoting it, right?
No, so okay, so you selectively link Kalam when you want to, innit?
No, I'm saying, hold on, I'm asking you because you're quoting it. I'm just asking you a simple question.
Listen. Most of the prophets said to the children of Israel.
Most of the prophet what?
Most of the prophets were sent to children of Israel. And like Ezra would conclude, you know the children of Israel are most of black people, as they said, innit?
Mostly, from what you're saying then, is the prophet black?
Richie, let me finish my point now. I can explain myself, you know.
Okay, go on.
Yes. So we have evidence in Islamic tradition where Prophet says Moses was black, Solomon was black, Jesus was black. We have clear hadith explaining these things. My point
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you for the Prophet Muhammad was black.
I'm saying to you, Kalam, I'm very humble. I can learn something, even though I don't agree with Sarah. I can learn something from him. I can learn something from anyone right here. I'm very people don't know me. I'm
asking you because what happens is in the Bible there's one. Hold on. In the Bible there's one family. Hold on. In the Bible there's one family line, correct?
I'm saying you asked me a question.
Hold on. I'm asking you a question. According to what you just said, the Qurayshi had one family line. So if the Prophet can chase his family line back to Adam, that would mean that the Prophet himself is black. Is that correct or not?
You what I just said to you, bro.
Yo.
I said to you, Rich, I quote a reference, yes, something that I see for the first time that Kalam was putting up. I give you a quotation of a reference. Kalam is right there. It's best for you to turn to him and ask him, is that what Abdullah says, is that true?
So look, before this thing run out, and y'all go another 40 minutes.
So Sarah, we're getting some feedback from your mic there.
Okay, so look, Sarah, you brought up the thing about Egypt, right? And oddly enough, well, not oddly enough, but the Bible itself explains that, listen, if you go to like Leviticus 19, it says, listen, you were slaves in Egypt, you were foreigners in Egypt.
What did I bring up about Egypt?
You said, hey, the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, and then went to Israel. They also had slaves, so they wanted to be supremacists like Egyptians, right?
Correct. Okay, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that's not entirely accurate, considering that they specifically go out of their way in several verses to be like, hey, if there's a foreigner in your land, you treat them like a native born, and you love them as you love yourself, because you too were foreigners in Egypt.
Your slaves shall be taken from the nations around you. Yes or no?
No, but I'm talking about supremacy as in far of people.
Your slaves shall be taken from the nations around you. Yes or no?
And you also have Hebrew slaves. Not all slaves were foreign slaves.
Okay, so am I lying?
Listen, bro.
Alvin's triggered.
Okay, Sarah, what you do is you put stuff in a vacuum and then isolate the surrounding things. Are there foreign slaves? Yes. But are there also Hebrew slaves? Yes. What I'm trying to explain to you is that the text goes out of its way to say, okay, but you know what? Foreigners in general, not just start talking about slaves. It just wasn't
the text is ambiguous.
Oh my goodness. Listen, it wasn't just a population of slaves. They're talking about foreigners coming into your land. You don't treat them as if they're not Jews. You don't treat them as if they're not Hebrews. They say you treat those foreigners like they're native-born Hebrews.
Your slaves shall be taken from the nations around you.
Was Israel a nation of slaves? Sarah, were slaves the only people inhabiting Israel?
Okay, so
we can continue after. Ricky, hold on a minute. Hold on there. Hold on, please. Please. Hold on. Kellyanne, do you want to say something?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. I want to say something. So I wanted to ask, what do you really want to know?
Who's that to? Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah.
What do I want to know?
Yeah.
In what do you mean? What context? In general?
Yeah, there might be some questions you want to know about, or what is your intention?
I mean, I'm already decided that Abraham religion is actually man-made, so I'm already decided. There's nothing really more to know.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Okay. Then actually, what this whole conversation doesn't make sense anymore, because you already know what you wanted to know, and somebody that trying to make an effort for Sarah to believe something is just a waste of time.
I agree. However, I'm trying to paint a picture here. I'm trying to be Picasso, bro. Like, there are people looking at the painting, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Sorry.
Hold on, Alvin. Hold on, TJ. Hold on, bro. TJ. Oh my God, what's wrong with this guy?
Okay, go ahead. I'm just
seriously, bro. Come on, man. TJ just come in. We're going off later soon. Let everyone speak. TJ, you want to say something?
I guess the only thing I'm going to say, I'm still trying to figure out, is God a mistake of man, or is man a mistake of God? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Is that just posed to anyone? Because I think that's probably like a discussion for afterwards.
Yeah,
Ricky.
For afterwards.
Okay, cool. Ricky.
It's just whenever I get Sarah.
Hold on, Ricky. Oh my God, why is it always you talking, Alvin? Just mute your mic for a minute.
Okay,
bro.
I'll mute my mic. Go ahead.
What is it you want to know?
Ricky. Yeah. You got something to say, bro?
Not really. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse. We have this discussion over and over and over and over again. It's. I don't know what to say really. I mean, listen. If you're following an Abrahamic faith, you're following a faith of a particular region and for a particular group of people. These are not global religions. Never should have been. Never were intended to be.
Correct.
If you're a black man from the Caribbean or from West Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, then you have an ancestral religion which predates anything Abrahamic before you were colonized or enslaved.
Correct.
This is all I have to say. And any black man should research, because listen, if Christianity and Islam is 2,000 years old, 1,500 years old, what the hell were you doing before that? Ask yourself that. That's it.
Animism, pantheism.
Well said, Ricky. Hold on a minute. Mohammed, let me just check it, please. Mohammed or Stacks? One of you.
Yo, I'm just listening, man. I'm just listening for now.
Okay. Go in then, Alvin.
You better listen good, boy.
Please stop throwing Sarah life rafts. Please, I beg of you. Because whenever I get them right there, it gets cut off and y'all go into something else.
Yeah, but there's
so
only hold on. There's other people on the panel, so everybody needs to speak in it. So
I know, I understand it. I get it. I know you're trying to moderate. You know, I know you're doing the best you can. So look, science.
Someone call my name.
Yeah, I was saying if you wanted to say something, Mohammed, but you didn't. You know, yeah. Did you want to say something?
No, I have nothing to say.
Okay, no worries. Go ahead.
Was the Judean and Israel population only slaves?
Sorry, say that again.
Was the people of Israel and Judah, was it just a kingdom of slaves?
According to the Bible.
So everybody, every citizen in the kingdom were slaves.
Are you saying according to the Bible?
The Bible does not say every citizen was a slave. Where are you getting that?
I'm asking you, are you saying according to the Bible? That's
in the Bible. In the Bible.
No, not everyone was a slave, no.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, so this point you bring up of how they can obtain foreign slaves is irrelevant to the point in which I'm talking about as far as superiority.
No, I tell you why
in regards to, wait a minute, superiority in regards to other nations in general. You're limiting it to slaves. So what I'm telling you is, if an Assyrian, if a Hittite, if an Egyptian, if an Edomite walks into Israel, okay, according to Exodus 23:9, according to Exodus 22:21, they are supposed to treat that individual as if he is a native-born Israelite.
Okay, so let me ask
They're
you this.
supposed to treat him in the same way.
So let me ask you this now, Alvin. A people, okay, just think about it. A people that apparently, according to the Bible, have spent how long? 400 years in slavery?
Yes.
The Israelites? 400 years in slavery. You come out of slavery after 400 years, and your God tells you, yeah, take some slaves. Now, I'm just thinking on a general scale.
Well, it doesn't tell
Hang on.
It doesn't say that. Though.
Hang on. It says it does. It says your slaves shall come from the nations around you.
No,
what I'm saying is,
okay.
hang on.
Okay.
Don't interrupt.
I'm saying, how can a people that have been through slavery, knowing what it is, now this is just according to the book, I don't believe this bullshit, but according to the book, they've been through slavery and they know what it is. And you're telling me that after going through all of that hell, you are saying, yeah, you know what? We know exactly what it feels like to be slaves, and we want to go and enslave somebody else exactly the same way we were enslaved. Really?
No.
Really?
Okay. This is why I say you put things in a vacuum and you make false dichotomies. Is slavery a part of the ancient world? Yes. But did they treat their slaves in the same? Hold on. Did they treat their slaves in the same manner in which the Egyptians did? Well, unless we get the Egyptian slave laws, I'm either knowing it. But what I do know is, based off how the Bible describes Egyptian slavery, it doesn't matter if you kill a slave or murder a slave or sleep with a slave's wife, everything is okay. But when you go to that verse, hold on.
You can beat your slave, yes?
When you go to that verse, you're talking about gathering slaves from foreigners, okay?
No, but you can beat your slave, right?
Okay, you beat your slave, right? But there's a call clause in there. If you permanently damage, hold on, I gotta be able to finish. See, this is when the light come in.
Is he a Christian?
Wait a minute, rich kid. This is where he says something, then everybody laughs, and it goes off into something else, and then before I can rebuttal, somebody else.
Yeah, but what's happening?
I have to be able to finish.
Can I say something before I go on?
Yeah, go ahead, Kelvin. I'm trying to moderate.
Goodness gracious! See,
beat your slave.
It literally
take a slave.
Alvin. Hold on. Alvin, hold on.
What I knew you would do,
hold on. This conversation between you and Sarah is going back and forth, and I think it's unfair that the show's going offline and other people want to speak.
Okay, I'm gonna say
so hold on. So if you've got a question, ask a question without preaching a whole lot. Like, we don't want to hear that.
I only need 20 seconds.
Okay, take your 20 seconds then. Kwame, you can go in and then Sarah.
I'm going to say. Slavery regulations in regards to Jewish or the Hebrew culture was limited as far as what you could do for them. Could you beat them? Yes. But if you permanently damage them, you have to let them go. If you smash out a tooth or an eye, that's what you get eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. You got to let them go. In Egypt, there were no such clauses. You could do whatever you wanted to them. And in regards to slavery, it's a part.
Where did you get that information from about Egypt?
It's not that there's information on it. It's the lack.
So why
thereof.
did you just make that claim? Hold on. Why did you just make that claim?
No.
Where did you get that information from?
The claim is I don't see regulation on slavery in Egypt.
How do you know that? Where did you get that information?
Because I don't see them. That's the thing.
Where did you get that information from? Where did you get the information?
It's the lack of information, not the information. I'm saying we don't have information on how Egyptians regulated slavery.
Yes, there is. There is.
What is this guy? Is he serious? What is this guy talking about?
You're talking shit. You're talking shit.
I'm saying in regards to how much. Okay.
Yo, Richard, let me come in, man. Let me come in.
I'll ask you the question.
Yo, Alvin, let me come in, man. Because I thought you're going to disagree on the topic. You just disagree anyway.
That tells me.
Yeah, go on, comment. Go on, comment.
You and
Alvin, you just have to beg to disagree on the topic. So I'm going to disagree with you, you're going to disagree with him on the topic. Obviously, that's what I see. No, I agree with Ricky on one point that we get tired of this discussion because it go over and over in a full circle. Yeah, and some man tied to them thing, another man tied to them thing, any. Yes? That's where it goes. That's why I can't say, for me to say to you, for you is your way of life, and for me is my way of life. Yeah. But I just another point now where, and I'm not gonna make it personal to Ricky on this point, I'm gonna go general now so I can speak some way. When many people say, okay, then now, we have a spiritual system, and I believe people from mainly from the Kemet and the spiritual system, the same system where they communicate with their ancestors. At times, many other people say they pray. That's what they do to their dead ancestors. They say that is the oldest, and they try to indicate is the first system. You see, people are using the common sense because they will agree that there's a first human being on the earth. There's a first living human being. So let me ask a very simple question: if people got common sense, is this first living human being, if the first and the oldest way of life, spiritual system, then this first human being, which that ancestor the first human being have to pray to? I'll communicate with.
I'm not sure of that question.
Can somebody give me?
What did you just ask?
Yeah, I'm saying if communicating with the dead ancestors, yeah, is the oldest and the first spiritual way of life where Ricky and other people promote, yeah. So I'm gonna ask everyone will agree that there's a first human being, a first living human being. So let me ask a simple question: this first living human being, which one of the ancestors, this first human being, dead ancestors, this first living human being was praying to?
You know what, brother? I'll give you my opinion, right? The first person or the first persons, because there couldn't have been one, right? So forget the Bible or biblical stories. That's just bullshit. But let's talk about reality, yeah? There was a group. Life evolved as a group, all right? And those people would have been animists or necromancers. That's what they would have been. There was no concept of the one God. None of that shit existed back then. Okay?
That's not my question, Ricky, that's not my question. You're running from my question again. You always digress. The Kemet system is that you communicate with the dead ancestors. That's the core of the thing.
It's not a Kemet system. Kemet is a piece of.
Listen me.
It's before that, brother.
Listen me, brother. Listen me, can you try bully the masses? Listen me. I'm asking you the first living human being. If he's the first,
who is the first? Who is the first?
No, listen.
Ask the question.
Hold on, listen now. Brother, I'm speaking now. You and Sarah have the same system. When you and Sarah were speaking in the past.
No, we don't.
No, listen, brother. Let me speak.
We don't have the same system, me and Sarah.
Don't get cold feet. Listen now. Don't get cold feet. Let me speak. If printed dead ancestor is the first spiritual way of life, listen me carefully. Then the first living being, they didn't have no dead ancestor. That's common sense. So who were they praying to?
Yeah, but who was the first living being? That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
That's Richie. You try to help them out.
I'm asking who was the first living being. That's what I'm asking you. Who was it?
I'm asking you, Richie. All right, do you agree? Do you agree? That's beside the point. Yeah,
no, because you're saying. Hold on.
Brother, rich kid. My Jamaican brother. According to my people's belief, which is actually your people, right? You are Akan. Let me just say this quickly. According to our tradition, one of the stories is when the world was created, the gods put lightning bolts to the ground, and out of the ground sprung up man. This is one of the beliefs. There are several Akan creation stories, right? So they sprung up from lightning bolts. So it was a community at once, basically. Those people, if they existed, it's a story. It's mythology. It is not fact. We don't take mythology as fact. Like
I know it's fairy tale. I know you believe in fairy tale, bro. I know.
Brother, you asked the question. Let me finish.
I know you believe in fairy tale. Listen to say, brother. Listen to me.
Let me finish.
You run from a question, brother.
I'm answering you. Let me finish.
Listen to me, brother. Listen to me. Can everyone answer me? Let Sarah answer. Anyone answer? I'm sure Sarah was telling me that the oldest person was phoning up, the first person, the first man. Sarah said to me, the first man.
There is no first man, brother.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to ascertain. I don't know what first man.
Listen to me now. Listen to me now. Rich, you know what I do. Yeah.
No, but I'm not. To be honest, I'm trying to find out what first man are you talking about.
Listen to me. You're my point.
Sorry.
Can I say one thing?
Let me
jump
in
brother?
there.
Can I say no? Let me finish the point. Let me finish my point, Sarah. Can you hear me, question?
Right, finish.
You say you're very clever, so you hear my point very well. The thing is, man, Richard had distraction to help out the brother at the
man, Ricky doesn't need my help, my man. Trust me on that.
Now listen, but you can't answer my question though. If communicating with your dead ancestor is the first spiritual way and the oldest spiritual way of life,
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Then the first living human being that Sarah agreed that was in Africa.
No, hang on.
Your point.
You're about to hang on. You're about to create what they call a straw man argument.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a straw man argument. I'm gonna agree. I'm agreeing with you, brother. You said to me in the debate.
You're not agreeing with me, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. Every time
you're not listening, bro.
Every
time I speak, I didn't finish my point. Sarah said to me, I'm not lying.
Because I swear,
Sarah said
you guys have a listening problem. You have a listening problem,
brother. Because you realize what's happening now. Sarah said to me, the first living person fossil found that's in Africa. I'm not arguing. I'm agreeing. Let me agree with Sarah for sake of argument.
No, the oldest. You mean the oldest? He wouldn't say. I don't know if he said the oldest.
The oldest.
No, Rich, please, Rich.
No, but I'm asking you: is it the oldest or the first?
Rich, Rich, man. You weren't there. Okay, Rich, you weren't there. Me and him was having that discussion. You weren't in it.
Okay, go on. Say what you're saying.
Yes. So there's so much. So he said to me, "We know we are fossil as the first man found in Africa in the singular." That's what he said to me.
The oldest human beings. Listen to what I'm saying.
Someone said to me, "The first man found is a black man in Africa."
Let me tell you
I'm
something.
gonna be trying to know. I'm not gonna argue with him. I said, "Okay, yeah, you're right."
Oldest human beings.
First man in the singular. So if communicating with your dead ancestor.
God.
Kwame, you're asking questions and then you're answering them. So let him answer them and then, because it's a claim. So go on, Sam. Go on, Sam. Kwame, you're taking like 5 minutes just to answer a question. Go on, Sam. No, hold on, Kwame. But you just ask him a question.
So why are you cutting me? Why you cut my head to nobody else?
Okay, Kwame, go on, Kwame, go on.
Yeah, let me finish my point, man. If you said to me the first man in the singular sense was a black man in Africa, yeah, I agree with you. Since he's the first living human being, and you have a system right now where you communicate with a dead ancestor, the first black man in Africa, which dead ancestor was he communicated?
All right, okay. So, like I said to you before, and I want you to comprehend, because I find that comprehension is a real problem. The first human beings, the oldest human being we can find, are people from the continent known as Africa today. Yeah? The oldest human beings, I'm not saying there's a first man or a first woman. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the oldest people we can find on this planet are from the continent we now know as Africa. Did I ever say? Hang on.
First man.
Hang on.
Stop lying, bro. You said the first man to me.
We can go back to the argument.
Bro, I don't like liars, bro. You said the first man in front of my face.
And neither do I. I don't like liars either.
Yeah, Mary was speaking, Sarah. You know, Mary was speaking. He said the first man in front of my face in the park. It's on Titan TV. You can witness
oldest.
You can, bro.
The oldest.
Well, you know what, Kwame, from I'm not, and this is not sticking up for Sarah, but for Sarah to make a mistake like that, to say the first man that was found, I would have a problem with that, because I would just say to him, where was he found?
I said the oldest human being. I said that, no, maybe that's what you thought you heard, Okay.
That's
But
what
I
God
know I
said.
said the oldest human being.
He's
Let's
a
just
compulsive liar, bro. He's a
the
compulsive
I'm
liar.
Okay, that's ad
listen.
Yeah.
hominems now.
Hang
That's
on,
ad
hang on, hang on.
hominems.
No,
That's
no,
ad
Let me
stop
tell you
hominems.
something.
triggering.
That's ad hominems. Go
There's
on,
there's
son.
there's
Compulsive
there's
liar.
no takia over here. I don't need to do takia. You see what I'm saying? I don't have a whole
Bro,
religion
we can't
based
play
on
by the video
takia.
game. It's on Titan. You
Okay.
can't hide.
I don't
We
I
can't.
don't I
It's
don't
on Titan.
listen.
It's on YouTube, bro. You can't hide.
Yeah, I know
Like
you
you
can't hide.
expose Batman video on
Sarah,
YouTube. It's
I
on
Sarah,
YouTube.
know.
he wants you to
You
say
can't
the
hide,
first man is
bro.
Adam, all right? It's not.
Yeah,
That's what
I
he
think.
wants you to say. And the thing is, because nobody said it, we didn't fall into his trap.
Yeah, I
No,
Right?
he
This is the
wants me
problem.
to say it.
That's why I was asking him who was the first man.
Exactly. He wants you to say Adam, because there is no Adam, just so you know, my brother.
Ricky, you are
Oh,
in
let
the
me
discussion. So
hold on, come in.
why you behind like defense? Why you different? You come from Jamaica, you're a yard man.
Come in.
Are you different from the gay activity? You weren't there. You shut your mouth, brother, man. You weren't there.
Can I answer your question?
Just make
I'm
chaos.
some funny guys, man. What's some funny, man?
Come on, stop that now. Can I ask you a question?
Yo, listen, yo. Listen me. Ricky weren't there. So much chat. Me tell him, tell me go.
Yeah, but what you're
for Ricky when y'all done.
Okay, hold on. Can I ask you a question, come in, before we go offline?
Yeah.
The dream that Muhammad had when he flew off into heaven, was that real or was that a dream?
For people who believe in God, we believe God the miracle. That's a miracle from God. Because we believe in God. We're not shy away from it. I said God.
No, I'm not asking you if you believe in God. I'm asking you, did you believe that he flew on a horse to heaven?
We believe it was a horse. It was a horse, and it's a miracle from God. Like God part the.
Yeah,
like
I'm not asking you for a miracle. I'm just asking you, bro.
Richie,
Do you believe? No, I'm just come to me, but you. No, I'm not. It's a different question. It's a different question. I don't need to help Sarah or Ricky out. Trust me on that. I'm just asking you. Do you believe it was a dream or was it real?
Can I answer the way more want?
Go on, answer.
Okay, so this answer no, because you as a man who don't believe in God and don't believe in miracle, then I have to give the detailed answer now, where we show you how God is greater than the 4 dimensions we live in. So he can do things where you can't perceive with your thing there. So out of that realm, it falls in the bracket for religious people. Christian agree with it. Anyone who believes in that, it's miracle. But I think it's a straw man argument to help your friend them, because your sister they clearly get school and they making no sense. Yeah?
Okay, to be fair, don't answer the question. We can do it offline. If you want to continue your conversation with Ricky then, because I don't need to help Sarah and I don't need to help Ricky. Trust me on that. So
you clearly help them very well. You help them very well. See what you do. You help them out.
Like, can I actually respond? Because what I've noticed is, is that you people, and when I say you people, I mean people that follow your faith, they attempt to put words in your mouth based on their own understanding. If you and I had a conversation and I actually said to you, the oldest, hang on, I'm not finished.
You're the best at doing that.
Hang on, if I said to you the oldest human beings on this planet, or the oldest bones found on this planet, you say the first man. Hang on.
Now get the video. Shall we get the video?
No,
I'm not finished. Don't argue. Let's get the video.
No, I'm not finished.
No, I'm not finished.
See, now you're running away.
Let me get the video.
Now you're running. Run.
No, let me get the video.
Let him
run, because you don't want to deal with it. Run, because you don't, because what you have in your understanding, just like the millions of people that I speak to you about this thing, you have in your mind there must be a first man and there must be a first woman. That is not my understanding. I'm saying the oldest bones we can find, the oldest people we can find are African people. You put it into the paradigm of, the first. And I'm saying, okay, if I go with you now and I say there is a first, I'm going with you now. If there is a first, the first one must be from these people, which are the oldest. So if I say the first, I'm only going by your paradigm.
Bro, listen me. You already said it to me. Let me tell you. So you want to play the video? Shall me go to YouTube video, Sarah? You want to do it now?
I got a question for Ricky.
Go ahead, Alvin.
Ask it.
So Ricky, you said something about your belief system goes back, 20,000, 30,000 years?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, how do we gauge that? Based on what?
We gauge it based on sorry, we base it on what you do, which is tradition, oral tradition, and just the same way you do with your traditions. It's exactly the same way. They didn't have fucking documentation back then as we have it today, and computers and backup. But we go through our oral traditions and the traditions of our people and the movements of our people, and the continuity of our traditions and culture. That's how we gauge it. So in reality, it's about 9,000 years, but some argue it is up to 23,000 years. That's what they argue if you link it.
Okay, so for example, so the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? That was oral before it was written down, but they have certain things or phrase used in the Iliad and the Odyssey where he said this and that's in alignment with that. So we can kind of pinpoint this around 1000 BC or somewhere.
I agree.
What's the gauge in those traditions that gives it this 9,000 BC?
All right, let me put it this way. First of all, my people are not Europeans, so we don't gauge things according to European standards. That's the first thing. And because it's a non-European system, and we live in a Western world where they're basically the top of the food chain at the moment, it's not always necessarily appreciated other cultures and their traditions. All right, listen, you know as well as I do, when Europeans were still in caves, Africa was a thriving continent. They will tell you that. European scientists and paleontologists, they will tell you this themselves. All right.
Well, I didn't ask you about Europeans. I asked you about this.
You quoted the Iliad, which is a European documentation.
No, I'm just saying, what is the objective thing I can look at and be like, oh, okay, so this is where.
Okay. For example, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Iron working, the smelting of iron. Okay, you can go to West African culture today, and they have iron carvings 12 to 13,000 years old, which they talk about in our cultural traditions, in our unwritten spiritual traditions.
What are you talking about?
They talk about this when it first happened.
You talking about the Nook?
The Nook are one. They are no. The Nook were already in the region when we emigrated to the region. We are blended with the Nook. They were already there. We did not divide from West Africa. We emigrated there.
But the Nook is like 1500 BC. That's not 12,000.
The Nook were already there when we emigrated. I said we bought smelting with us.
Yeah, but that's much later than the time period you're talking about.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
When we arrived in West Africa, there was already people there. There were Bantus, probably called the Nook. Right?
The earliest settlements in West Africa is 2500 BC. Those are the earliest settlements.
Did you just not hear what I just told you? We emigrated to the region.
I know, but we're trying to establish this 9000 BC date you're talking about.
Our traditions come with us, not with the people who are already there.
Okay. I
understand?
I see what you're doing. Okay.
Right. Yes,
so you're saying that. So where did they originate then?
But our tradition tells us we originated from Northeast Africa and North Central Africa, from the Sahel, from the pastoral, because at that time the Sahara wasn't the Sahara; it was waterlogged. It was green.
It was
at that time. We emigrated due to the erosion of due to the desertification of our homeland. That's why we emigrated into the forest regions where the Nook were when we've been there about 2,000 years. Our people only 2,000 years in West Africa.
Okay, so
this is fact. You can read this.
Who are those traditions?
Okay,
who are those traditions?
You said there's these artifacts that's 15,000, 12,000 years old. What are those?
There are some what do you call it? Iron works, masks, and they've also, and not to mention, we have the cave paintings. They're in the. Wait.
Give me names and dates. Let's not make things up.
Paintings in southern Libya today. All right, these are 20,000 years old, and they show you depictions of the region at the time: boats, hunting, water in the middle of the Sahara. You can go look at it for you.
So
Google it
you're
yourself. You can see this yourself.
okay.
This is
So
our people.
What's the name of the? What's the name? Give me the name of the cave.
I'm trying to remember the name now. I'm trying to remember the
Because
name.
you're just making up numbers.
No, I'm not
You're
making up
making.
shit. I don't remember.
Show us the receipts. Show us the receipts.
The caves are. I don't remember the names, but they're in southern Libya and in southern Algeria. You can just Google cave paintings, in southern Algeria. You find them in Libya.
Okay, so
What's this got to do with West Africa?
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're trying to
where we come
connect
from, you idiot.
Libya, them Libyans to South Africans. Okay, so
They weren't Libyans back then, my brother. They're called Libyans today, but they weren't Libyans at the time.
or whatever they were called at the time period, right? And you're saying they migrated from there to West Africa,
right?
But even if I give you that, that's still, if you're talking about during the time the Sahara dried up, that would still be like within that third millennium.
That's 10,000 years ago, minimum, brother, minimum. And you know,
I'm talking about, but then you would have to still demonstrate the stories that they were telling orally are the same stories that you're telling orally now.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Our people have always said we came from Northeast Africa. Traditionally, Europeans said, no, you were always in West Africa because we're black, all right? I have personally done my DNA test, personally. And it says I have 7% Northeast African blood. It says that in my own DNA, all right? When they did the DNA, when they did the DNA of the whole region of West Africa, it was fact that the Yoruba, the Fon, the Akan, these people all have their roots in Northeast Africa, which is what their oral traditions have always said, which were never believed until
The Levant.
I'm not going to say
from Israel. This is what we're trying to tell you.
Rich Kid, are you there? Rich Kid.
Yeah, what's up?
Brother Ricky sounds exactly like what Hebrews tell me. We came from Northeast.
We've got DNA though, bro. We've got DNA evidence.
So do the Hebrews. So do the Hebrews.
The white man tries to hide this stuff because he doesn't want us to know the truth. And we really come from there, and we went to that land, and all the archaeologists are just racist, and they don't want to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
Like, that's what it sounds like to me. Sound like
bro, you're right.
My Hebrew brothers. I would say something to you. I believe there are a group of people called Hebrews from Northeast Africa. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You could be.
And that's our ancestors.
You could
whether you like it or not.
I don't deny it. I don't deny it.
But you know what, Ricky? I'll give you this though, Ricky. It at least it does seem like you're knowledgeable on stuff. Like I run into a lot of, African-based people, but they'll just say leave the Bible, but they don't know any of the theology or whatever. You at least seem to know some of the oral stories now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's
like those.
Because what I don't like is when people say all this stuff and they don't even know the stuff they talking about. At least
let me say something. Yeah. Like selling Asian African like things that people talking about. They can't 100% of a certainty. This is where it goes. This fact. They can't really say that. Cause they check the age and they was in that time. They can't really say that. So they're just uncertain like every other thing where they might try bash and claim is uncertain. They're no different really and truly then. You understand me? Because they can't 100% say for something 9,000 billion years, you can't 100% so it goes.